lot of y'all pseudoscientists. You be fraud as hell, your granddaddy did it, then you did it, you can rot in hell. I don't know who with me or against me, it be hard to tell. Chaos energy, I'm heated, it get hot as hell. Man, it feel good to be Aboriginal. 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 Everybody trap up, had to be major. Yeah, I got my melanin. Guilty without no evidence. All natural, you know me. Jury, it's on me. Swagger, you matter. That's making me chase the fatter. Michael Jackson, but I'm better. Fuck all lives matter. All my teachers, all 9 ether powers, I ain't got all mine either. I don't need a preacher, I just go within. He don't need a leader, no, we gonna win. I see apples with the wind again. Tell a friend, we going in. All skin still ain't kin. Y'all heard the tribunal? They sweat us dead like funeral. Winning record like Keno. Fly a lot like UFO. Joe Biden, you a hoe. You a hoe and you not original. We ain't going nowhere, you pitiful. We keep coming right back, residual. We over here lit, you no fuck about who you with. We just correcting our status and shit. What do you know about your citizenship? What do you know about your status and shit? I hate sophistics like shit. Whole system ain't shit. Do something about this shit. You ain't gotta say it something like a king. This is what I seen when I had a dream. Should've had a scene, do the right thing, carbon based beam.
Peace to all American Aborigines. I want to say shout out to y'all big homie, the one and only Tasco, CEOs on the ones and twos tonight. I want to say shout out to the tribe, all the first Americans in the building. I see Mr. Aboriginal Smith, peace of the guy, Gretchen Helm, peace Empress, Garfield Rule, peace King, Thompson's Goddess, peace Empress, Raina Leona, Fishing with Camo Joe, peace to the guys. We're gonna get right back into this music. Let's go. It's the GOAT. Free Jazzy Tuck, BCS. It's the Panthers.
Run up the comma, son of a gunner. I'm trying to give me a hunter. I keep this shit like a punter. I keep a stick like a hunter. I turn this shit to the jungle. I came in straight out the dungeon, ready to rumble. I get the ball and won't fumble. Say that they're ready for war. I jump out the car and shoot your ass up at your mama's. I did this shit for the winter and for the summer. I fucked your bitch in the Hummer. I fucked your bitch at your house, all in your bed. You came home and found a condom. Niggas be hating on bosses. Niggas be faking. You niggas really be runners. Still talking to these bitches. Ain't got no money. You niggas really be fun. Niggas be hating on to you. On when I see you. One when it be you could he do. Been get money since niggas was rocking their diesel. Pocket looking like an evil. Bitches on me when they see me, bitch, stop it, I see you. I ain't stopping when I see you. Niggas be talking about Choco Papa when I see you. Been the chocolate leave see you.
I get that money, I'm chasing that sack, I'm a bag mover. I punch that pad like I'm Jab Judah. I swipe the pack, I'm a fast mover. Remember them days I was back in that trap and I had to go give me a sack. Catch a play and then I'm running it back. Nigga playing, know he bound to get whack. Boy, that's a fact. I'm fucking cookies gelato, you know I be keeping it thanks. All of these pussy ass niggas be talking, I let you pop all of your shit in the back. And I been rocking that Gucci, that Louis designer, you know I been dripping that facts. Bitches on me and they tryna attack. Why they say they tryna see where I'm at? Me and Jazzy, bitch, you turn to the max. Yeah, yeah.
Blowing money fast, feeling like me. Slide through with a bro, trying to sweep the whole street. Designer down, so you know it ain't cheap. Pay the stack for the shoes, so I'm walking on P's. The shit that I'm smoking, I'm barely can breathe. You mention my name when you come to the east. Big dog status got rank in the street. They was up, now I'm up, now them boys underneath. Took off on these niggas, they wish they can catch up. Told my little hitters, y'all shoot from the neck up. Drizzle got now, young nigga been next up. No young thug, I got me a check. Bro, ain't got a check, so I do it like Nike. I up with this Drake, it's gonna bite you like Tyson. Won't snitch on one photo, I put that on the Bible. I'm strapped with this chopper looking for my ride. I'm swinging it still like I'm Harry Potter. Pour out the paint, we don't pour out the bottle. Ain't talking schoolwork, got problems we solve. This bitch that I'm fucking, she bad like a model. Babies in the trap, but ain't talking about tile. These rappers my sons and most of them my daughters. We just fight like a peer, we don't do too much walking. I'm still in the trap, making jump like the Carter.
Them suckers gon' come out that water, gotta go harder. I'm tryna whoop double Laura, used to be broke at the bar. This shit getting cold, gotta stay with that fire. Every other day, another nigga getting shot. Everywhere I go, bitch, I'm taking my Glock. Nigga think I'm lagged, then the nigga gon' die. These niggas ain't real, they bitches, they know they get with up. I'm low, my Glock up, ain't holding my head up, but feel a little better when I get the west side. I'm from that 220, 40 loaded 30, niggas ain't stepping on me. I leave you dead in the street, spin your block with choppers, back to back, hit and repeat. Niggas know what it is when I slide through. A bitch said she wanted, I bought her too. Cause I want a pilot, she kinda cool. And I like the stunt, so I got her too. Like I'ma give it, I got her fool. Only thing that I did was about the bitch some food. Ever since the day I started, been a down fool. King G. Yeah. Long little L.
Turn it up for me, my nigga. Record everything. Yeah. If you can, turn it up just a little bit, my nigga. I need to feel that shit in my chest. Yeah. Supreme, nigga. Supremacy. I'm on the block like a motherfucking nose guard. Teeing up for a check, I'm erect, I go so hard. I'm just trying to ride the wave like a motherfucking Coast Guard. I'm just trying to get the mail like a motherfucking postcard. Boat guard like a motherfucking real name Humphrey. Can't quit, too legit, so these niggas can't touch me. Cock the hammer, keep the tool like a motherfucking handyman. Baby, come and get your man, for you have to call an ambulance. And I'm smoking on the blunt of Afghanistan. Point, aim, then shoot like a motherfucking cameraman. I'm just sticking to the script like a motherfucking thespian. I'm just trying to hit a lick like a motherfucking lesbian. On the block like a nigga playing Tetris, nigga. Trying to get a shot ahead like a nigga named Pettis, nigga. Push a nigga wig back like a fucked up barber, nigga. Slide through, drop bombs, turn your block Pearl Harbor, nigga. I've been doing this shit for a long time. Mix something like the sun, guarantee that I'm gon' shine. Got shirts, got work, got perk, got plugs, nigga. Got lean, got beans, got green, got drugs, nigga. One call, that's all, and the nigga getting wiped out. Got your bitch at the crib right now, getting diked out. All this shit he trying to do, swear to God that I been did. Rick Jill been the shit, goddammit, and I still live. You ain't never seen the fabric of the cloth that I'm cut from. Take a look at where I'm at, wouldn't believe where I come from. On the block like a motherfucking nose guard. Teeing up for a check, I'm erect, I go so hard.
It's the GOAT.
Yo, gon' punch it in, you hear me? Pal. None of these big things can't change us. Big chains hanging on gangsters. Cocaine slinger gon' famous. Gangbangers on swingers. I know young niggas in Dodgers. Track hawks and chargers. Foreign cars and garages. Foreign broads and menages. Crack baby with a meal ticket. If you really want it, then you will get it. Got a pretty bitch with a bad body. If you pull it out, then you will lick it. And the Jag sitting crooked with it. Tell me what you need, better quick and get it. Big 40 with the big switch. Give an op short a good whooping with it. Anybody wanna look and get it. Matter of fact, the whole hood can get it. Acorn and the apron, I'm in the kitchen, I'm cooking with it. Big chef like Raekwon, a lot of gang like Jason. All a soul away from the Golden State, that's Mo Green and Draymond. Big boss nigga, okay, man. We falling off, no way, man. This conversation gonna run the nation. Let the congregation say, hey, man.
Hey, man.
This not new to this, like talk teacher, I do the shit. I know the pros, they grow the draw. I throw the rolls like do the Chris. I show the hoes, I do the bitch shit. Act like I never knew the bitch. She blew the dick, but I did need it. Cause the kids smell like tuna fish. Like, who's this? Bitch say she on birth control. She done let too many nasty niggas hit it. Raw now the pussy on dirt patrol. 1 sniff it'll hurt your nose. 2 sniff it'll hurt your soul. 3 sniffs it'll knock you out. Take another one and your curve your clothes. And I'm not going for the okey dokey. I'm still ducking from the roly poly. Make you turn around and do the hokey pokey. Then shoot you back and leave it holy moly. They go to police from the pawn shop looking for it. Niggas ain't stoley road. You the nigga riding in the backseat, pointing niggas out, trying to show the police. I'm the nigga riding down the back street, just sold a dope that I score from Woody. Screaming Freeman, nigga, trade 6P, body look call Lil D and OG Loki 45. I'm your OG. In the city, bet your OG knows. Smoking yoga pants got me choky. Ran out of money, yeah, Loki broke. Don't know how to save, don't know how to stack. Get a little paper, don't know how to act. Got 50 racks, now he want a cap, 10 on the chain, 20 on the rack. 5 on clothes, 5 on hoes. We end up with 10 trying to get it back. Caught a fresh case, hate to say that. 80 on the bun, had to pay that. And you gotta try to come up with the money for an attorney. DA wanna send a nigga down a long road on a journey. About to lose again, facing 2 to 10, gotta share a cell with Gay Birdie. Don't wanna end up on a gurney. Gotta pay a gang or pay Jeremy. Join a gang or pay Jeremy. Ain't no room for error when you're in the streets hustling, trying to make ends meet. Keep your head up and your bread up. Never let your chest and your chin meet. Flip your money, then put it up. Don't touch the money for 10 weeks. Then put your homies on the same hustle, so when you eat, then your friends eat. Put some money up for your bail bond, cause the hatred for a nigga skin deep. Let them sleep on you if they sleeping on you, cause their eyes open but they been sleep. If your opposition pull up on you 10 deep, let the Draco blow them back 10 feet. Nigga said that nigga dead, that nigga head is meant to me.
Panthers.
Look, what you know about loyalty and respect, nigga? Honesty and trust. Everything on the up and up, nigga, when you fucking with us. It's a thin line between love and hate, even thin the line between real and fake. Nigga can't appreciate what they ate. To worry about what's on my plate. Same nigga that kick it with you, be in the secret competition with you. Same nigga that kick it with you, in the secret competition with you. For the right price at the right time, or the right bitch, or the right lick. I done seen motherfucker bitch quick do his dog like Mike Vick. I thank the Lord for discernment. I've been peeping niggas whole card. I play the game just to play the game. I'm a veteran nigga, I go hard. I'm standing on like a rock, nigga. I'm 10 toes on my soil. I'm in tune with my intuition. I know when niggas ain't loyal, nigga.
No down bad, no cash on hand up for me. Now you down, wanna hang around, you don't fuck with me. Catch on the box, tryna bring it down to that loyalty. Your best friend, your main bitch, your family. No, these niggas ain't loyal. See it when they come around. Never been loyal. They just wanna kill you now. That bitch ain't loyal. Can never trust nobody. Niggas ain't loyal. Talking about any and everybody.
See, I done seen real niggas turn to fuck niggas. Seen something niggas turn to bosses. One thing to make all the difference. How nigga bounce back from them losses. You gon' win some, you gon' lose some. You just gotta keep on keeping. The streets is watching and you know they talking. Just let them keep on speaking. Don't pay attention to what they saying. Just understand you gotta watch your man. 9 days a nigga enemy. Fuck around to be a nigga closest friend. I peep the shit from a mile away. Ain't shit slick cause I'm loyal. I'm in tune with my intuition. I know you niggas
I knew you niggas wasn't loyal, nigga. Loyal to the soil. Summer Love. It's the GOAT. You got the CEO on the ones and twos. It's the pride of Indiana, Rick Gilla. Let's go.
Now you down, wanna hang around, you don't fuck with me. Catch on the bottom, trying to bring it down, there ain't loyalty. Your best friend, your main bitch, your family. No, these niggas ain't loyal. See it when it come around. Never been loyal. They just wanna kill you now. That bitch ain't loyal. Can never trust nobody. Niggas ain't loyal. Talking about any and everybody.
I'll say peace and paradise to all American Aborigines. Spring Chief holidays in the building. I'll say shout out to the CEO, man, the great tunes. Hey, loyal to the soil, man. Hey, man, it's a recap. You guys caught the 80s throwback joint we just did, man. Summer of Love, man, series, and we just started, man. Next Sunday's gonna be even crazier, you guys, man. So shout out to everybody, man, that participated in that, man. Hey, man, let's get right into this commercial, man. June 25th, All Nations Unity Fest. Let's go.
It's the go.
Live, June 25th, All Nations Unity Fest. Live performance by Ja Bricks, Shadi Akib,
Royal. All of my needs, they royal.
and Threads 3000. Hosted by the Redhead Diva, Pete Brown Live. All Nations Unity Fest, June 25th, Threads 3000, Shadi Akib, Ja Bricks Live. Sound provided by DJ Deck ATL and DJ Cut Tacklers on the ones and twos. Cut, you're killing them.
Wild Indian, yeah.
Hey, V, line them up.
I'm a wild Indian, you know I go crazy. Ain't really Indian, that boy Fugazi.
That's right.
I just keep a player, you can never play me. You got an ass so fat.
All Nations Unity Fest, June 25th, hosted by P. Brown Live. Special guest Dr. Powhatan Amaru, DJ Deck ATL, and DJ Cut Tacklers on the ones and twos will be in the building. Hey, man, live and direct, man, Atlanta, Georgia, man, the Legacy Center, man, it's going down June 25th, man. That whole weekend, man, it's gonna be a movie, you guys, man. Shooting videos, royal, Aboriginal, and it's gonna be a wild Indian summer, man. So, man, like to see y'all out there in y'all feathers, you know what I'm saying, flying high, feathers up, tribe up, wise up. Y'all already know all that other stuff, man. Salute to the tribe, man. Appreciate everybody, man. Real talk, man. Supporting the real. Supporting the kids, man, everything that we got going on, man. You already know, man, opportunities on deck. Hey, business opportunities, where you at? Tap in chiefholiday@gmail.com. Only Builders 2022@gmail.com. Yeah, man, like I said, man, we're looking for a few good men and women, man, to join the team. And if you guys have any needs or any people, tap in as well. You guys already know, man, we're looking for graphic designers. We're looking for coders. We're looking for talented people, man. So First American Talent Hunt right now, man. Talent search. We're searching for the best of the best in America, y'all. So we already know we're the best. So shout out to the best, man. You already know, man. Hey, so we recapping, man. If you guys tuned in to a Summer of Love, man, it just happened, man. It was off the chain, man. DJ Cut went in once again. That playlist was curated by yours truly, or y'all big homie, the one and only Tasco, the CEO. So I want to say shout out to her. Great tunes, man. I was sweating, y'all dancing hard, just having a great time, man. It was a lot of great music, great vibrations, great entertainment, just great love. Just a lot of love, you guys. So, you know, once again, it's the Summer of Love 2022, peace, prosperity, all that good stuff, man. So that's what we on, man. We on the Summer of Love. I just want to say shout out to all the American Aborigines out there. You guys already know, man, we're going to have some information tonight as well and open up the panel talk about it a little bit as well. Thank you guys for tapping into that. Once again, you already know about the vacay sweepstakes. What we got going on, man. Participate in that. Once again, we got Las Vegas coming up August 3rd through the 7th on deck. So win a trip for two to the National Association of Black Journalists career fair and conference that they having out here. It's going to be huge, man. We talked about it last night. Probably be putting those links and things in the chat room as well. So you guys come out to Vegas for that, man. It's going to be another movie in August, man. So it's going down all summer, man. It's going down all summer, man. Hey, Father's Day coming up, man. You guys, City Me and Cook, Dallas, June 19th. So you guys be there for that as well. If you can't be in Dallas, if you're in the Dallas area, tap in. If you're a father, man, around the country, City Me and Cook, it's been in existence over 20 years. And you can participate. There's a lot of great fathers out there, man. And it says City Me and Cook. You know what I mean? So shout out to all the men that cook out there. Man, press go if you're a brother that know how to burn, at least on the grill. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the real men out there that know how to cook. Got Barkham Live is in the building. Peace to the guy, man. See Sister Bethy Talk Show. Peace, Empress. Welcome. Sagittarius Jones is in the building. Peace to the guy. Thank you guys for tapping in, man. Do us a favor, man. Like, share, subscribe. And share this on all your social media platforms, man. And tag me in it, man. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's just hot, man. We come in peace, man. So I'm gonna say shout out to everybody, man. It's the summer of love, man. It's all about love. It's all about peace. It's all about prosperity. And you already know we the only builders over here. This community, when we say not just us, you know what I'm saying, it's a part of our small group, but everybody, this awakening makes you do things. You know what I'm saying? We talk about solutions, you know what I'm saying? It makes you get up and get some work done and have pride in your land, you know what I'm saying? So we say we're loyal to the soil. Real talk. I'll say shout out to everybody, man. Appreciate all the love. Real talk. Hey, man, it was crazy, y'all. It was really crazy. Next week, next Sunday, same time, man. It's going down next Sunday as well, man. We're going to be throwback 90s hip-hop and R&B, man. It's going to be crazy. Late 80s, 90s hip-hop, man. So, yeah, man. Y'all know that's a lot of us, man. That's the golden age of hip-hop, man. You know what I mean? So shout out to the 90s hip-hop, man. So we're going to be going in on the 90s hip-hop and R&B set, man. Old head Cuddy going to be in the mix. Your friendly neighborhood Cuddy. You already know, man. Best to do it ever do it. If you knew it, man. DJ Cut, man. Killing them, man. Killing them, y'all. This shit was crazy, man. So if you guys haven't tapped in the Mixcloud, man, tap into that, man. So Summer of Love was off the chain, y'all. So yeah, let's pull up a couple more tunes. We're gonna get into like I said, we're gonna get into some information. Get into a little information. Let's pull up a couple tunes. DJ, the CEO, is in the building, guys. Cut's supposed to be coming through, man. Chop it up with us, man. We're gonna talk about the game. Looks like old Steph Film not getting swept. We'll talk about that tonight as well. Talk about a few things that's going on in the sports, man. Your boy LeBron James is a billionaire now. I think that's dope. So hey, man, let's get right into this next record. So, Ja Bricks, Miss My Dogs. Let's go. It's the GOAT.
2 deadly shootings in Newark in less than 2 days. The latest happening last night at a barber shop. In both cases, officers have not yet made any arrests. Eyewitness News reporter Derek Waller, live in Newark as the community grows restless.
Miss my homies, yeah, I miss my dog. Street so fucking crazy, don't get too involved, yeah. Said don't get too involved, yeah. Hey, damn, I miss my homies, yeah, I miss my dog. Street so fucking crazy, don't get too involved. For all my dead homies, yeah, I gotta ball. It's time to break these chains, it's time to free us all. Damn, I miss my homies, yeah, I miss my dog. Street so fucking crazy, don't get too involved. For all my dead homies, yeah, I gotta ball. It's time to break these chains, it's time to free us all. Let's take all these chains cause we innocent. All our resources is limited. Whatever they start, I'ma finish it. I'm young and I'm black and I'm militant. We young and we strapped, we don't give a shit. Better get back on killing it. The cops from the block, I'm concealing it. But if that's the option, revealing it. Break city, that's a war zone. Same city that I call home. If you ain't fight, come home. Be ready to rock when you called on. I studied the rock, got my ball on. A shot from the side, got my ball on. If I fall off, I'ma fall on. I'ma ball even if I'ma walk on. But it ain't a sprint, it's a marathon. Find me a wife I can marry on. Find me some kids I could carry on. A legacy I could carry on. Got some niggas in the chain gang. Youngins, all they know is gang bang. But we ain't here to play the blame game, cause the main thing is to maintain. And we gon' do that from the rip. I don't care if you a blood or a crip. Real niggas won't cease to exist, cause if you black, my nigga, you the shit. And damn, I miss my homies, yeah, I want them bad. Some of them in the system, some ain't coming back. Damn, I miss my homies, yeah, I miss my dog. Street so fucking crazy, don't get too involved. For all my dead homies, yeah, I gotta ball. It's time to break these chains, it's time to free us all. Damn, I miss my homies, yeah, I miss my dog. Street so fucking crazy, don't get too involved. For all my dead homies, yeah, I gotta ball. It's time to break these chains, it's time to free us all.
Take all them chains, we innocent. And stop with them honey sentences. We young and our talent is limitless. They know it, so they tryna cripple us. They love when we're in the military, but they hate us for being militant. It scares them, they want us feminine. But fuck their opinions, no giving in. Cause I can never dream big again. Cause I will never see Twiz in them. And I will never get Kwani back. It's like my life keep on rewinding back. And every time that I close my eyes and I try to dream, I only see my guys. Sit there and I talk to them and I tell them I'ma keep them alive. Wake up now, nigga motivated, had to move on and I know they hate it. But me and death, we associated and I refuse to be guilty by association. Money low, but my voice I raised it. Knowledge for the poor in them poor locations. With pain, music with motivation. I'm just helping young niggas cope with hating. Cause damn, I miss my homies, Twakwani and Tweak, Moo Reek, Ab B, Scooter and Breeze, Mike Sa, Shira Case and Za, and a bunch of other niggas that I lost to the block. It's
Hey, damn, I miss my homies, yeah, I miss my dog. Street so fucking crazy, don't get too involved. For all my dead homies, yeah, I gotta ball. It's time to break these chains, it's time to free us all. Damn, I miss my homies, yeah, I miss my dog. Street so fucking crazy, don't get too involved. For all my dead homies, yeah, I gotta ball. It's time to break these chains, it's time to free us all.
Hey man, that's Ja Bricks. Miss my dogs. Man, RP. Rest in paradise to all our fallen loved ones, man, our ancestors, man. It's been a tough couple of years, you guys, man. With this Keyshawn Johnson, aka the Rona. You know what I'm saying? And everything else, man. So, you know, wanna send a special shout out to all our fallen comrades and family, loved ones this year, man. So shout out to everybody, man. Hey, want to say we just lost another artist, Trouble, out of Atlanta. I don't know if you guys heard of him. You guys gonna hear about him a little bit more. So shout out to Trouble. Rest in paradise to that brother. Peace of his family, man. I know they're grieving right now. Atlanta's grieving right now, man. So shout out to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Trouble is definitely an up and comer. Yeah, man. So like I said, you guys gonna be hearing more about him in a few days coming. So rest in paradise to Trouble. Yeah, man. So we're gonna get into a little information, you guys. Before we get in, I want to say shout out to the sister Lexi London. You guys been around a while. She's we've played her stuff before. I don't know if anybody. I definitely want to reach out to get an interview with the sister. She's been pushing the line. She homeschools, different things like that. She's a mother. So shout out to the sister, man. And shout out to all the sisters, man, that do this work, man. we definitely you always have a voice over here. Y'all know that. So yeah, man. Peace to the tribe, man. Peace to all the empresses out there, man. Do this work, man. We're gonna pull up this Lexi London video. Talk about the indigenous of America. So I don't want to spoil you guys, so I don't talk about too much if you haven't seen the video. So yeah, let's just get right to this, man. Fair use. If you guys haven't subscribed, or know about this sister, man, check her out. Let's go. It's the GOAT.
Hey guys, it's Lex here, coming at you with another video. I'm just really upset because of how we are treated in this world for many, many, many years, hundreds of years, and it's really fucked up. I made a video, I think last week, and someone who I speak to in the comments always tells me to check out these videos and stuff. So I checked out a playlist with about like 20 videos, probably more. I watched almost all of them. A lot of them are just visual, like you see pictures of things like where did the Indians go, and I took notes. And I also researched some more things, so I took some notes. So this note thing is hard for me because I like to just speak. So know who you are. Can't nobody tell you who you are. If you know that you are Aboriginal, Indigenous, no one can tell you who you are. Forget what history books and books say and white history says. You are who you are. Information is power. The reason that I want you to know this, because information is power. If you knew who you were, you would be powerful. You cannot kill power. Information is power, and you cannot kill power. Natives look different ways. I'm just suggesting some of the stuff in the comments too, because there is not one way to look indigenous. There are many kinds of indigenous looking people. There's dark, there's the blue, black, there's brown. I'm brown, I'm red. I'm red, I guess, so I'm brown, whatever. There's different kind of hair, wavy, curly, bushy. I have really wavy hair sometimes. Sometimes it looks like this, and sometimes it looks like this. It just depends on the weather. It could be afro, it could be bushy, it could be curly. It does not matter. What is in your spirit and what is in your heart makes you who you are. Stop trying to push what you learned in school in like 8th grade onto who I am in my life. American Indians and Alaska Natives are the only racial groups in the U.S. required to prove their ethnic origins. Why do we have to prove it? So if I say I'm white, I could be right. I don't have to prove that I'm white. If I say I'm Chinese, Korean, I don't have to prove that I'm Korean. If I say I'm Jewish, I don't have to prove that I'm a Jew. 52 Americans claim African Indian ancestry on the 2010 U.S. censorship. The government recognized roughly half of 52 million people as Indians. We go way back. Pyramids are all over the world. I know people just think about the pyramids in Egypt. Pyramids are everywhere. There's pyramids in California. There's pyramids all over in South America, North America, Mexico. They're everywhere. A lot of them, hundreds of them probably haven't even been found yet. They're just sitting there and untrained and looking like mountains. And people just like, oh, that's the mountain. Oh, that's just, it just pisses me off. So what if the Egyptians built the pyramids and they were African, who built the pyramids in America? And what were those people? Were those people slaves brought over? No, because they were here before that was even thought of or taught or shared. We were everywhere. Aboriginal people were everywhere. We were not just here or there. We were everywhere. People keep talking about Africa. What about Australia? What about those people? We were everywhere. We are the people of this world. There's signs everywhere to who we are, who we were, rather, right? Slave ships are a myth. Slave ships are a myth. Where are all these factories that build slave ships? Where are the factories along the way and back where they had to stop to fix their shit? Because the ships got fucked up along the way. So where are these ships? Where are these shops to fix it? How many slave ships were built? Where are they? All the people dive under the ocean finding gold, finding pirate ships, finding places, finding sculptures that look black, finding lost places. But where the slave ships that you ain't finding not one ship? Not one ship. 300 people lived stacked up in a ship. So what why nobody died? Why everyone didn't die from the feces and the piss on this long ass voyage? So you telling me a group of white men who were probably sick, diseased, hungry, starving, went to a place they never been and told 300 Africans, mostly 6 foot tall, strong warriors, come with me. It's 18 of us. We have guns. We're gonna take you. And no one fought back. They just said, okay, let's go. We're going to go on a trip. So these are super slave masters. They had to be like 6'9" slave masters. And back then, the white people were not that big. And this lasted for 300 years. That people just going back and forth. No one saw people get taken and be like, you know what? Next time they come, we're going to whip their. No one. Whatever. If you believe that shit, you believe in Santa Claus as well, I guess, because all this shit is lies. And where did if you look at art before, like you look at art of Indians and they all were black. You look at, if you could Google, you could search it, you could look at it in a book, you could go to the library if it makes you feel better. You look at the art that people painted of Indians like 1800s, 1750. 1600s. Why are all the Indians darker than me or my color or etc. brown? So where did all those Indians descend from? Africa? Gory Island thing is a sham. The Gory Island is the place in Africa where they have like this the last place the slaves saw before they left, and it's like a little tunnel, and they bring them to, and it's supposed to be like boats sitting there waiting. All around that shit is rocks. The reef is so high it'll fuck a ship up. A wood ship would have been cracked. Water would have flooded it. Gory Island is fake. Too many rocks for boats to land. 1620 Plymouth Rock. And I know everyone, this is a famous quote from Plymouth Rock. We did not land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. We did not go to another place and land on them. They came to where we were and they landed on us. That's in 1620, Plymouth Rock was established. 1607, Jamestown, VA. But no one talks about the colonies who arrived here and were killed. 15,000 of them killed by who? Ghosts, wolves, the native original people who were already there. In 1705, children were born to black women and branded as Negroes. Why? Who taught Europeans about medicine, food, housing? Oh, the Indians from the Columbus story, huh? It was you. It was your ancestors. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little pissed off. We taught them about this stuff, then they stole our birthright, our land, our talent, and our talent with paper. They took a paper and told you that this is not yours anymore. Leave. They took paper and took your lives, took your families, broke up centuries and centuries of tradition, and value and hope and pride of a people with a piece of fucking paper. They still do that today with money, which is a piece of fucking paper or cotton, whatever the fuck you want to call it. The Louisiana Purchase. How can Spain or France, whatever, give away land, sell land to somewhere else, and they never fucking owned it? People, thousands of tribes live there. Lewis and Clark, they found Chickawaw, I forgot her name, Chickawawi, whatever, and she helped them around. She helped them not get killed. So how can someone sell something that they didn't own with people living on it in the first fucking place? Think about that. Think about that. George Washington cut down the cherry tree. Indigenous people had a flag. One group, I think they call them the Moors, the indigenous Moors. They had a red flag with a green tree. So George Washington, he couldn't tell a lie, so he told the truth. I cut down the cherry tree. I killed the Indians. I forced them out their home. He couldn't tell a lie, so he told the truth. And the truth was that he took over land that was not his by killing and enslaving and raping and pillaging people. The Dawes Rolls. If you don't know what the Dawes Rolls is, look it up. DAWES. The Dawes Roll Commission. It just makes me mad. So it commissions the 5 civilized tribes. So the rolls were what determine what tribes get what land and they get benefits, right? They didn't want blacks to get benefits, so they also made the free man's list just for blacks and any full-blood Native American who had African American features. They allow white citizens to claim Indian. They call them $5 Indians because they pay $5 just to say they were half-blood Indians. They could receive land benefits, don't pay taxes, free college, land. I Cody was one of those white Indians that they put all over the media in 1970s to give you an image of what Indians look like. He was a crying Indian. He was sad because of like land and pollution commercials. He wasn't even fucking Indian. Both of his parents was Sicilian and from Sicily. Google I Cody. I know you want to believe that you came from Africa and you were a king and shit, and the first human started in Africa, so it's a pride thing. That shit's not real. Remember when the land was all one mass, one continent, and it wasn't broken up yet? We were here. We were here. And we were everywhere. We wasn't just sitting in the part of the continent that was Africa. We was all over that land mass. That land mass broke up. We stayed where we were. Obviously, we didn't make boats and shit and sail across. So how we all originated in one place when the one place was all together? Don't believe what you're told. A lot of confusion amongst our people. We are divided by religion, islands, race, color, sex, wealth. We are all the same people. Columbus got lost. Columbus did not get lost. Back in the day, America was called India, and India was called Bharat. If you look at it, India was not called India yet. So he did not get lost. What happened was his ass landed in Haiti and DR and had to go back and ask for more money. And they was like, nope, somebody already did that, been there, done that. So what he found, they wanted to search us. They wasn't the first boat. People kept telling tales of these copper-colored people living everywhere they went in the Americas, meaning South America, North America, Jamaica, the islands and the Virgin Islands. All those places, people were there, and they was talking about how these people live. Cut and paste. The cut and paste people of history. The white man finds glorious ways to cut and paste history to glorify himself, to make to push his views and points of views on the world. And they did a wonderful job. I was reading a comment on my last video. A girl from Africa, she said she lives in Africa and she feels like America is where she's belong because in Africa, the white people treat you so bad. People treat you bad. Only people get treated right is white people in Africa. You're from Africa, go home so they can come back here and remember that this is where you're from. Your ancestors died here, they built here, they loved here. This is their blood is here. And your ass want to run across the sea to Africa. You want to abandon your native land and go to fucking Africa? Are you serious? You can't be serious. All African Americans are the original people and are the native Indians. Don't believe the DNA hoax. So I watch these videos and it's astounding to me that these videos get 20 to 40,000 of views because yes, I know how many people's looking to find out who they are. And everyone is come. I'm 90. It was a girl. I was looking at this girl. She was so fucking white. She was so white, but she's black. She was so light. She looked like a fucking Indian, and her DNA told her she was 89% sub-African desert. She was so shocked. She said her family been telling her for years and years that she was Indian. Her grandmother, her great-grandmother, you're Indian. She was less than 1% indigenous. How? History will never be told by the lion. It will never be told from the perspective of the lion. The hunter will always tell you what you are and what happened. Don't believe this shit. All this shit is a hoax. The land of flowers, which is Florida, there was a big battle with the invaders, I guess the Europeans and the Indians, and he handed over his whole army to the invaders. And that happened in the land of flowers, which is now known as Florida. We don't think for ourselves. We don't accept it. Black people accept the truth only if they like it. They rather go along with what they're told than rather what they know or what they feel. Why are we the only race that does this? You rather have scraps from the white people and take, this is what you are, this is what you got, take it. And we just take it and we just like, yes, sir, I pray to Krishna. How can you be African if you existed before the name Africa? How can you be African if you existed, your people before you existed, before the white man came and named that Africa? How can you be African? How can you be an African American if both things were not around when you were? Slave-minded. Who got together to name each other blacks? Who got together and said, you know what, we're going to be African Americans? Who got together and said that all Indians now going to be called colored or Negroes? It wasn't you. It wasn't your people. If you allow other people to tell you what you are and who you are a slave. You are a slave. I no longer believe that all races come from one human being. I don't. I'm so sorry. So all animals came from one animal. All birds came from one bird. All dogs came from one dog. All cats came from one cat. All snakes from one snake. All fish from one fish. All humans did not come from one human being. I'm sorry, I just no longer believe that. They used to call America the Egypt of the West. This is your homeland. This is not Africa, not far, far, far away. This is your homeland. So this is what I was thinking. I was thinking that we get together, we buy a plot of land, we farm it, we grow things, we build our own homes, and we live there. We don't use money. Hope this don't get me killed. We don't use money. We trade. We share. We care about each other. Sounds hard. Did it before. We live off the land. We make our own clothes. We need nothing from the outside world. It might not start off that we need nothing, but the end result is that we need nothing. We're self-sustained. Anyone born after 1950 is an American. No, fuck that. Is an Aboriginary. I can't say that word. Native, original, Indian. Take a moment as people to understand why we are being oppressed. Think about it. Why do you think they don't want us to know these things? Why do you think they slave us? Why do you think they treat us like garbage even to this day? All African Americans are Indian. Every brown, black, chinky-eyed, brown, straight, wavy, hazel-eyed, light-skinned, clear, Virgin Islander, Haitian, Australian Aborigine is Indian. You are native. You are original. You are indigenous. How do you feel about my idea for land? And thank you for watching this video. And I hope I didn't offend nobody. I just get really, really passionate about it. And I'm really, really pissed off about a lot of this stuff. And I feel bad because I used to always laugh at my great aunt when she said stuff like this. Like, she don't know what she's talking about. We ain't no Indians. And then now look, I discovered many, many moons after she died that I am.
Yeah, man, that's powerful. I'm sure that's a few years old, you guys. But there's a lot of things to talk about in there. Links in the chat room. Just want to say first and foremost, you guys, American, right? We all Americans. Everybody agree on that. No matter what you call yourself, right? You can call yourself whatever, Moorish, Hebrew, blah, 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 all these things, right? And we know these are all the descriptive terms. Once again, the same people. You're religious, whether you're right-handed, left-handed, you like chocolate ice cream, vanilla ice cream, that has nothing to do with whether or not you're Americans, right? We're all Americans, right? But the thing is, the definition of American, no matter where you find it at, means the copper color Aborigines that the Europeans found when they came here. Copper color, copper color, copper color, copper color, colored, copper colored, colored. We don't have to go too far back to find colored on our documentation. Some of y'all listening right now have colored on the documentation that came from these people. And according to law, American law, whether they were recognized and whether these corporations or these groups or whatever the case may be, the law, this land, said you're the indigenous Aborigines of this land. That's how that works. And nobody can tell you who you are. Nobody. That's how that works. And I thought we already had the BIE, the Indian Bureau and all that other shit. You know what I'm saying? Now we got other people coming in here talking about they the Indian scouts. They want to see everybody's family trees and stuff, you know. Why they haven't showed none of their stuff? You know what I mean? I think that's really crazy and ridiculous at this point right now. Once again, color on your documentation. It means that you're the indigenous people of this land. And that's protected by American as well as international law. See, what's happening is a lot of people have just been fooled with word spells and things of that nature, whatever. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us worried, but it's an awakening that's happening right now. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about uniting, Unity Fest. Let's pull that commercial back up. We got a little time right here. The All Nations Unity Fest is about uniting, coming together, and building. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of different ways to do it. You know, once again, people who have land, that are farming. There's no one way, you guys. Everybody's like, it's a silver bullet and your way is the right way. Okay, well, if it is, it should be working for you. You shouldn't be worried about nobody else, or you should be showing somebody how it's working for you. Be the example. See how that works? It's super simple. We don't have to go back and forth. And a lot of times people make those type of things points of contention, which brings division. Now, we don't have to all be in the same groups working. There's different groups working, whatever, for the same goals. And you know what I'm saying? We should be working in our tribes or our families that form together to form nations. That's how that works. You know what I'm saying? So, like, once again, when they're telling you guys have got to find yourself on some dolls roles, you got to do all, like, that was created by these people that to include them and exclude us. Even when we talk about the Freedmen Bureau, we did a bill on that maybe a month ago, tore that out the frame. Well, okay, well, you know, when they make it for other people, refugees, well, they were the refugees. It was millions of them that took advantage of air quote the Freedmen Bureau. See, once again, we just listen to the cover stories. We listen to narratives, and we know it don't sound right. We know it don't feel right because we're ancient people. We were here. We say tap in. We talking about tap into your bloodline, bro. Niggas be like, I'm gonna spit in the tube and I'm gonna know who I am. Come on, fam. That's crazy. It's crazy as hell. Whatever do you, but I'm like, yo, I mean, we cross-referencing everything, not just your genealogy. That is the beginning. You should always should never stop tracing your genealogy and knowing who your people are on all sides of your family. That's crazy. As well as when you're doing this, you're talking to your family members, you're jogging their memory. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of things that you have to dig deep. Cousins, uncles, great cousins, great uncles, so on and so forth, great aunties, so on, you know, great, you know, whoever. You got to dig deep, and a lot of that stuff is not. Most of that stuff, you guys, is not on the internet. Not knocking nothing people are doing, because that is absolutely needed. Should definitely exhaust everything that you can exhaust to find out who you or your people are. So I'm not knocking anything, period. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times people be just making up shit, like don't even make sense. So like I said, we're going to keep building, man. It's the summer of love. Summer of love. Summer of love, summer of love, summer of love. Sunday, man, is going down once again, man. DJ Cut. Going to be on the ones and twos, man. It's going to be crazy, man. Throwback 90s hip-hop and R&B, man. It's going to be crazy, y'all. Y'all never know. We might have a live performance by somebody. You never know what we're going to do. We'll have some interviews, some things popping though. So shout out to DJ Cut, man. The best to do it if y'all didn't know it. Yeah, man. Shout out to DJ Cut, man. He doing his thing, man. Cut, you definitely killing them out here, man. Yeah, man. We doing our thing, y'all. So appreciate all the love, man. Support, man, from everybody. For real, for real. Davon, Darius Matthews, peace of the guys, man. Appreciate you brothers stepping in. See the original Anglo-Saxon Berber. Peace, man. I don't know if it's like it. Islam. Charles Clark's in the building. Peace of the God, man. Hey, man, let me put the link back in the chat room if you guys missed that. Yeah, I ain't gonna bite. I'm talking, it's the summer of love, man. We're being nice. We're trying to be peaceful, trying to build, you know, some bridges been burnt the fuck down. I'm not gonna lie, you know, but people do rebuild bridges, so I'm not gonna front. You know what I'm saying? Oh, but I don't build bridges. So just to let y'all know, y'all better get on a boat or some shit. You know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, man, we grinding, man. It's gonna be a crazy summer, man. June 19th, Father's Day, man. Shout out to all the fathers out there, man. You guys can put the links in the chat room. The City Man Cook. It's going down Dallas, Texas, man. June 19th, man. So y'all be, if y'all in the area, man. If y'all not in the area, man, support anyway, man. Be a part of the Real Men. I'm sorry, City Men Cook. Yeah, it started out Real Men Cook. I think they had to change it up. Yeah. Shout out to all the real men out there, man. Put in that work, man. Press gold if you're a real man. See, we got any real men in the building, man. The CEO stepped out for a second. Yeah, can we pull up the All Nations Unity Fest commercial? Appreciate you. Yeah, man, if you guys missed that that live Summer of Love, man, with DJ Cut, man, it was crazy. You guys can go to Mixcloud and check it out. And follow DJ Cut, follow myself, man. Follow each other too, man. Let's rock out over the Mixcloud, man. It's a dope platform. We really like it, man. So sure, you know, a lot of people are gonna be coming over there doing their thing, man. So shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate all the love. Sagittarius, real man in the building. Press go if you're a real man. Hey, man, shout out to all the real men out there, man. Hey, man. Hold on, let me pull this down. Yeah. June 25th, you guys, All Nations Unity Fest, man. Let's go.
It's the go.
Live, June 25th, All Nations Unity Fest. Live performance by Ja Bricks, Shadi Akeem,
Royal. All of my knees, they royal.
and Threads 3000. Hosted by the Redhead Diva, P Brown, live. All Nations Unity Fest, June 25th, Threads 3000. Shadi Akeem, Ja Bricks. June 25th, All Nations Unity Fest, man. It's going down. Atlanta, Georgia, Legacy Center, man. Yeah, so wanted to kind of chop it up real quick before we play this video. So want to say shout out to Lexi London, man. Like I said, we're gonna rap about that. Kind of like I said, man. You know, a lot of stuff. You know, I'm not gonna say it's wrong, but it needs to be a little bit more digging when we talk about, you know, some of these stories. You know what I'm saying? Because if they told lies about these stories, then we got to start examining all the stories. These characters, George Washington and what cherry trees and all these other things. You know what I mean? They're you know, once again, somebody rewrote history. What did they rewrite? We have to know what they rewrote, what was rewritten, right? What they changed, how they changed it, and how they're using artistic flair to do it. You know what I'm saying? So this guy right here is supposed to be a air quote whistleblower. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know about this whistleblower stuff or whatever, because we got Michael Cremo, we got Hancock, you know, a lot of other guys. A lot of times, even when those guys air quote are whistleblowers, they don't want to go all the way there. This guy right here kind of goes in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And shows some of the evidence and archaeological evidence and evidence, once again, evidence, scientific evidence, you know, that proves that Negroes were here in the Americas first, right? And we like to say that this is ancient. You know what I'm saying? This is not Egypt of the West. This is ancient, air quote, Egypt. And if you guys understand what we're saying, what Egypt means and stuff, if you haven't got that, you know, you might want to go get that Egypto America. You know what I'm saying? So without further ado, man, let's get right into this, man. I want to say fuck fair use. This is for information, or right and exact information. That's why we're here to critique it, but also entertainment purposes. So let's get right to it. Press go if you truly descend from the greatest human beings in world history, Craig. Let's get it. It's the GOAT.
A new discovery which has not yet been published. It relates directly to the black communities across America. After here, I'm going to Bimini. As you said, I'm also going to be speaking at the Ouachita Conference again in Louisiana about this. But before I tell you about that, people will say, well, big deal. So what? Why is history important at all? History is extremely important. Imagine if I could take from each one of you as an individual everything you knew about life up to last week and just erase it. Where would you be? You'd be lost. You'd be incompetent. You wouldn't know how to plan for the future. And you do the same thing with a people. If you erase their history or you don't tell enough about their past, they also become incompetent and they can't fulfill the future. And that's why a lot of people in the black community have felt, well, how come all of the dreams of the civil rights movement aren't yet fulfilled? And one reason is because this history is still suppressed. It still isn't taught. But there's been a recent discovery which is going to blow the lid off of all that. And that's what I'm going to talk about. Now, basically, what science has now found, although this is suppressed for the most part, there have been some great researchers. You have some wonderful books there, like by Evan van Sertima, who's talking about these things. This is not taught in your public schools, although it will be. The history that the children are learning today is not going to be history that's going to be taught in the next 25 years. It's going to be radically different. We now know for a fact that long before Columbus, there were 4 major migrations of blacks to the Americas, different parts of the Americas, for totally different reasons, totally separated from each other by many centuries. But nonetheless, there were these black, you can call them migrations, but they were not in charge. I'll describe, and you can make up your own mind what they were. The most recent of these took place about 400 years before Columbus was even born, and it's all outlined in a marvelous book over there. It's called The Golden Trade of the Moors. And it is now known that the West African Kingdom of Mali had huge fleets of merchant vessels, and that these kings, these black kings of West Africa, began sailing across the Atlantic to Mexico as early as 900 AD. Now, why did they do that? They did that for trade, not for conquest or invasion. They did this for trade. Mali was very wealthy in gold. They had lots of minerals. Some of the black kingdoms, they were called the Yoruba or the Benin. They were great workers in bronze.
Can we stop it right here real fast?
With West Africa, and it's still a trouble today.
I gotta say something.
Not enough food, famine. Somehow, the black kings of Mali had preserved this tradition long before, where there was this kingdom across the sea.
Mic check.
Totally
Hey, can we stop it right here for a
it's
second?
very hard to reach. You need to have excellent ships and good sailors, and nobody in Europe was doing it this time. But if you cross that sea, this other kingdom across the Atlantic was very rich in a certain kind of food, which the people over there called maize. We now call corn. And these West African kings launched at least 2 major fleets, trading ventures, that went across the Atlantic 900 AD to about 1600 AD. And they brought over their bronze work, and they taught the Mexican people, the ancient Mexican people, who were then known as the Mayas. The
Hold
Mayas
on.
had built up a great
It's not a
kingdom
rain.
of their own, but in 900 AD they were in decline. They were really on the outs. Nobody knows exactly why, but their society was in decline. They were losing all of their technology. Then these black fleets came across from West Africa, from Mali, and they presented a lot of gold work, bronze work, and in return, they came back with shiploads of corn, maize. Now, we know for sure that this actually happened because very recently, you'll see in the next issue of our magazine, not this issue, the next issue is coming out in about 2 weeks. This is part of the discoveries are happening so fast and furious, it's hard to keep track. They now have found that a certain type of maize or corn, which is growing in West Africa, has been growing there for many centuries, is not native to West Africa. It is a type of corn which comes from Mexico, could have only been brought over by these Mali seafarers over 1,000 years ago. So this is a first concrete proof that they beat Columbus by centuries, and we're not just on a voyage of exploration. They were going back and forth, bringing corn back. Now, why do we know about that? Well, this trade stopped abruptly 1600 AD. 1600 AD, the Spanish, the Portuguese were on a real aggressive colonizing campaign, and they took over Africa, and they destroyed a lot of these kingdoms. And with the destruction of these kingdoms went all the knowledge and all the history
All right, so let's
of these
stop it for a
past
second.
trades.
I'll
And
be right
this
here
is
for a
a
second.
tremendous lesson for us because, you know, we're so proud of our American civilization. We think it'll go on forever. But when a civilization falls, history tells us it takes almost all memory of it with it. Civilization is really very
Can you stop it
fragile.
right here, please?
And that's why these lessons from the past are very, very important. If we want to preserve our civilization, we have to learn what happened to these others that crashed. So we know for sure between 900 and 1600 AD, long before Columbus was even born, as I say, these blacks were trading, these black kingdoms were trading with Mexico. If I have to refer to my notes, it's because this is new to me as well. There's also traditions in Mexico, ancient Mexico, of these black kings coming. And one of them was called, by the Mayas, if I pronounce this right, Ecchua, which means the black calabash or the black gourd. It referred not only to his black skin color, but also this gourd that he brought over. This gourd has been portrayed in these Maya hieroglyphs. This guy is portrayed as a West African type of man with robes and everything. And he's holding a gourd in these glyphs. That gourd has actually been identified as a West African type of gourd. So here we're having wonderful proof that there were these contacts between Africa and Mexico. And they actually referred to him by this name. And it shows that the Mayas and these Mali civilizers, these Mali traders, got along really well. It wasn't a conquest. It wasn't one society taking over another. They both had things to offer each other. The Africans had to offer metallurgy and gold, and the Mayas had to offer corn. So there's a wonderful example of, for ourselves too, two totally radically different cultures, separated by a vast ocean, tremendous cultural and racial differences, and yet they still cooperated and got along real well. So it can happen. But these Mali kings, 900 AD, they set out because they had a legend that there had been blacks going long before them. It was only a legend. It was only a myth. And it was on that myth that they chanced and they went across the sea and it worked out for them. But that myth traced all the way back to an even earlier black contact between Africa and America. And I'm talking about now not Mexico, but what we call now the United States. And this relates to this new fabulous discovery that is coming out. About 200 years before Christ, up until right at about the time of Christ, in other words, about 2,000 years ago, there now appears that there were wealthy West African and North African blacks who left Africa on a pilgrimage and came, if you can believe this or not, but there's solid proof for it now, to southern Illinois. Now I'll explain how that happened. In 1982, our time, there was a guy who was going along southern Illinois. He was a cave hunter. And he was, I don't know if you're familiar with Southern Illinois at all, on the Ohio River, it's just honeycombed with caves, thousands of caves. They have not all been explored by any means. And he was involved in sports for hunting in caves. It's done all the time. It's rough work. Sometimes these caves are very narrow. He went into, to make a long story short, he went into this cave that no one had ever seen before. And he squeezed through a very narrow entrance, and all of a sudden it turned out into an enormous room. And in this room, he found great sarcophagi or coffins, coffin lids made out of stone. The walls are engraved with all kinds of stories, picture stories of men and women in old costumes from the ancient world. And then on the floor, he found stacks of thousands upon thousands of these black rocks that were beautifully engraved with the profiles of people, not Indians, people from other parts of the world. Some of them were white, some of them were Asian, but hundreds are of black people, all in profile. They are made on a type of rock that is found really mostly only in Southern Illinois in caves. This rock is like a clay. You pull it out of the ground, and you have like a stylus or a pen, and you can draw on it real fast. You can draw profiles and letters, and then as it dries, it turns into a hard rock. And these rocks are piled up on the floor of this cave. Now, this man's name is Russell Burroughs. He's not an archaeologist. He's just a spelunker. He's a cave enthusiast. He brought these out over time. They're very difficult to bring out because the cave entrance is so narrow. And he's brought out now almost 10,000 of these magnificent tablets. They're very crude looking as rocks are concerned, but the drawings are beautiful. And they show the profiles of black people, some with scarification, which is West African, mostly with not that, some with specifically West African robes, which are still used today. Some will have a man on one side and a woman on the other. Some will be entirely women. It has each one of these 10,000 have a script associated with these pictures. Nobody's been able to translate the script. Well, since 1982, this place has really been contested a lot, but finally some professional archaeologists are involved, some top archaeologists, and they have verified that it is all authentic, and they have dated it now, and there's going to be a lot of information released in the next few weeks and months about this find. Who are these people portrayed in this cave? Not all black, but a lot of them are black. Some of them will show like a black man with a kind of a sailor's cap, and in the background will show like a ship or a fish. It seems as though they're portraying a captain or a sailor of some kind. It's now understood, it's very involved, complex. You'll see the whole story in our magazine in the next few issues. It appears as though around the time of Christ, just before the coming of Christ, in Rome, there were a great many mystery cults. And these mystery cults, they were mystery because they were secret, not because it was a mystery. It was secret. And in order to get into this mystery cult, you had to go through different levels of initiation, like the Freemasons, which are not unrelated to it, believe it or not. There were many mystery cults like this, the cult of Osiris, the cult of Isis, and a lot of other cults we don't know about. And then to get into these cults, we do know you had to pay money, you had to be fairly well off, and the final stage of all these mystery cults, you had to go on a long pilgrimage, a long quest. All that cost money, but you would go on this long quest to a sacred place. And at that final sacred place, you go through an initiation of some kind. And when you went through that initiation, you were finally a member of this mystery cult. And these mystery cults were all the same in that they promised the individual who went through this initiation eternal life. You didn't die. You survived after life. And these levels of initiation showed you how your soul made this progression. All that's been lost, although some of it is survived in Christianity, which is basically the same. That you don't die. If you are a good Christian, you go eternal life with Christ. And some of these ideas apparently were shared in common. Now these blacks apparently, they all look well fed. There are no starving people portrayed in this. And they all are with jewels and everything. So they're well-to-do people. That fits. What the archaeologists now think is that these wealthy people, no matter what their race was, but a lot of them were black, would participate in this mystery cult, would cross the sea and come to a cave. This specific cave in southern Illinois was the holy place. It was far away. It was hard to get to. It was extremely secret. It was part of the mystery cult, but they knew about it. Apparently the Romans knew about it. This is like a Roman cult that was open to anybody that could afford to go through it. And they went through their final initiation, whatever it was, in this cave. And when they were finished, they had their portraits drawn. It's just like you have a picture taken when you graduated, right? And then in the Catholic Church today, we still have things called votive candles and votive statues. Like you'll go to a church and you light a candle and you leave part of yourself there. Or you have like a statue of the Blessed Virgin or St. Joseph and you'll leave it there. Little inexpensive statue. The same idea seems to be working here. You would go through this mystery cult. You'd come all the way across the ocean on this great hard quest, all the way to southern Illinois to this strange cave. You go through these rituals, and when you completed them, they would draw your portrait real fast, put your name on there, and then they would store it in the sacred cave. You didn't take it with you. That's why it's done on kind of crude stone, although the drawings are not crude. The drawings are excellent. And these inscribed tablets were put in this cave because it was like the votive part of you. You left that part of you there. So when you went back to Rome or Africa or wherever it was, part of you was still in this cave. And it is no hoax. It was one time I saw it, maybe it was a hoax, but now they found over 10,000 of these. They're beautifully done. It's beyond anybody to hoax this stuff. So here's this earlier migration. And because it was part of a mystery cult, it was not well publicized. And so we can kind of excuse historians for saying, well, there were no Romans or blacks or anybody at that time going across the ocean, but there were. The reason they didn't know about it because it's part of this mystery cult. Something of that myth, though, must have survived all the way into Mali times, up into 900 AD, when those kings of Mali decided to cross the ocean. Those two black migrations to the Americas are not the only two. There are two more, two earlier ones still. We go way back in history. Around 1,000 years before Christ, 3,000 years ago. It's such a long time ago, it's hard to even imagine. There were a people called the Phoenicians. These were Canaanite people that are mentioned in the Bible. They were half Semitic and half something else. Who knows what they were? They were very well traveled. They were very great seafarers. And they employed all kinds of races on their ships because they didn't really have any particular homeland. They were always traveling, went everywhere. They were the first to go around Africa, known to go around Africa, 900 BC. And it's known that they employed many blacks on their ships, not as slaves. They had no slaves on board their ships. But they did have sailors. They did have captains. These people definitely crossed the ocean also to Mexico. It made a very strong impact on a civilization called the Olmecs. The Olmecs, that's just as a name for this very, very early civilization, the earliest known civilization in Mexico. And everyone thought at one time, well, it's just an Indian civilization until 1861. In 1861, a farmer was plowing his field, came across a very strange domed rock, a black rock, and he couldn't dig it out. The more he dug down, the bigger this rock got, until he dug the entire thing away. It took him weeks to dig it away. And it turned out that he unearthed a 9-foot-high statue of a head, beautifully done, of an African, not an Indian at all the portrayed features of a West African man. From that time until recently now, there have been 11 of these giant stone heads. Let's see it. I'll give you an idea how big they are. They're an average, well, there's 11 found now. They're between 6 and 9 feet high, and they weigh 40 tons apiece. They're magnificently carved. While these were being found, more of the Olmec civilization was found, and a temple was discovered that had also the same type of people, these West African people portrayed as kings and warriors.
All right, so first off, right, this was shot in 1997, okay? So I want to point that out. So he says the origins of African Americans revealed by a Caucasian whistleblower, Frank Joseph, right? Now, once again, they're talking about a time period, 900 AD. We got a time period of 900 AD of when they're saying that they have evidence of people coming from the Mali Kingdom on boats trading in Mexico, right? And they have evidence of that, scientific evidence of that, right? Now that's 900 AD. But then they have stories of pilgrimages coming into North America, because Mexico's North America too as well, you guys, into even north of, the further north of North America, into what is called Cahokia area. Now we did a build on Burroughs Cave. You guys seen that? We showed the air quote she culture or Olmec culture. They like to throw Maya out there. Once again, he's throwing words out there, whatever, like African and Mali and Benin, and term that didn't exist 900 AD. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Y'all gotta understand that like Africa didn't exist 900 AD. And he's saying black. He's been specific because, okay, well, when did the pale skins come into these areas? Okay, now, even every time they came here, whether it was 900 AD, right, it was people already here. And apparently had greater dynasties, greater civilizations, older civilizations than theirs. As well as so once again, it's always coming here as opposed to going there. See, they always tell the story as if everybody got to come to America, you know what I'm saying? And we just let anybody come over here, as if we didn't go anywhere and take this technology, food, medicine, civilization around the planet, you guys, long before 900 AD. Okay, so there's scientific evidence. This is the 90s. This has been suppressed like that. This has been out. This stuff has been out. They've been suppressing this. They won't fund this. They throw it on the ground. They change up names. They start doing other things. You know what I mean? But this is 1997. So why is it taking so long for this to get into the school systems? Real American history, real archaeology of our ancestors in the ground that we stand on. That's the point. That's the whole point of this stuff that we doing, y'all. Like the lies, the dishonor, like, you know what I'm saying? Like the betrayal and all these things. You know what I'm saying? We know this has happened. We know all these things happen. We know everything that has went on. But most people are working off of false information, and I think that's another problem as well. Even people that are traders, I'm sure that they just don't know they're working off fake information. You know what I'm saying? And if maybe once again, right and exact information is power. Right and exact information is power. So when we talk about the etymology of stuff, what is right and exact? Okay, niggas was already here. Period. We've been here. We ain't never came here. We sprung from this soil. Period. Okay, that's it. And there's evidence that we Americans took civilization around the planet. Period. They just bringing it back as if this is the new world, and from their perspective, that's all Johnny come lately as. You know what I'm saying? Shit. So this is, once again, so we're gonna decipher through a lot of this stuff. But in 97, they're having these conversations about the science and stuff that they're suppressing to let us know who we were in 97. The heart of when they trying to, push the whole back to Africa, the African, black African, and apartheid, and all these other things. All this is going on in 97 while they're suppressing this. And all the bleedy black Power Rangers that was pushing us away from America. You understand what I'm saying? So let's get back to this. I had to put that out to you guys. I had to say that. Let's go. Let's get back to this thing. It's incredible.
So when the first archaeologists found these, it says, well, these are probably just blacks that got blown across the sea and were enslaved. But you don't make huge heads portrayed with crowns of your slaves. These were obviously regents, powerful people. How did they get there that long ago? Because those heads are dated to about 3,000 years ago. So far as is known, there was no black civilization then. That came later. It appears that these were sailors and captains working with the Phoenicians. Maybe they jumped ships, maybe they got shipwrecked, but somehow they got along fine with this Olmec community, so much so that they rose to become the leaders of that society. One of the other new things that have been found is that the heads, the black heads of these great Olmec kings, wear a strange kind of headgear. It comes down halfway by the ears and circles the entire crown of the head. There's nothing like that anyplace else until they found, starting to find now, these old leather crowns that were studded with gold and brass that were used by the early kings of Mali. So only 2 places in the world do the same strange type of crown, amongst the Olmecs in Mexico and West Africa. So here again, there's this parallel. Now, even older than this, I mean, they talk about, you know, our ancestors coming over on the Mayflower. This beats them by thousands of years. There has been another stupendous discovery. I mean, they're coming so thick and fast, probably because our technology is expanding, as you know. And as our technology expands, we're able to find out more faster. Over in Japan, and this relates to what we're talking about, was found an underwater city, the first ever found. It's right off the coast of southern Japan, by Okinawa, where the great battle was fought in World War II. And this underwater city extends for 311 miles on the bottom of the ocean floor. The deepest one is 100 feet, deepest building is 100 feet. The others are 20 and 40 feet. And they show streets and boulevards. They show pyramids. I've got photographs I'll show you tonight. These photographs have not well been publicized, but they will be. Great plazas, huge steps, all underwater. Now, this place is probably related to another old legend, and that is of the lost civilization of Mu. Mu was supposed to be a Pacific Island civilization that sank long ago, but before it sank, and while it was sinking, it was not a fast or catastrophic end for the most part. The oceans rose when the ice melted at the glaciers that covered all of this area, you know, at one time. 10,000 years ago, they began to melt very rapidly. And when they melted, they flowed into the oceans of the world, and they raised the ocean level by about 100 feet. So this civilization goes back maybe 10,000 years. Hard to believe, but the evidence seems to suggest that the city at the bottom of the sea goes back that far. The reason I mention that is because all of the traditions of Mu and all of the research that has been done into it show there were 3 races of people on Mu. There was a Caucasian people. I'm going to use these terms, by the way, scientifically, not sociologically. This is just to define a people. A Caucasoid people, a Negroid people, and a Mongoloid people. Excuse me, not a Mongoloid people. A brown people. I don't even know how we put them in. And that was considered only legend, only myth, that these 3 races were on there. They equally shared power politically. The reason why they did it was part of their solar religion. They believed that the sun has different phases of the year, and so they should share power. As the sun shares power with its light on the earth, so these 3 races had to share power equally. The reason why they believed that was they believed God manifested his power and his identity in natural law, which you see the flowers growing, the sun, the stars. You can't see God, but you can see what God does. That's God's law. So if you live in harmony with God's laws, you see it in nature, doing God's will. That's what these people believed. And so by having the sun at different phases of the year, you share different power. Sometimes the white people, the Caucasoids would be the power. Sometimes the blacks would. Sometimes the brown would. That's their tradition. When this land sank, this high civilization brought some of its ideas to different parts of the world. The brown people became part of what is now Polynesia. And the Polynesian, I can tell you for a fact, the Polynesian legends are thick with stories about Mu. The Hawaiians have a people they call the Mu, who were there before they were. The white people apparently didn't do as well physically. They were more or less wiped out, or they dispersed and intermarried with people in China, it appears. But the blacks, however, went in 2 directions. And this is beyond legend now. Now we're moving into hard science. When Mu sank, or when Mu was in the process of being inundated by this great rising wave of water, they went in two directions. They went out to what is now known as Oceania and became a people known as the Negritos. And they also went towards Mexico and impacted this Olmec civilization. And the reason why we now know that is because there was a genetic trace done. You know about DNA now. That's getting a lot of play in the paper. DNA means you can trace the genetic code of a people. The genetic code of the, and there are still native blacks in Mexico. That's never been explained by archaeologists before Columbus arrived.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second.
DNA tests done on the bones of some of the...
Shit. Okay. Now, I don't think you guys know about Mu. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a little background on this Mu conversation, right? And the people that wrote about Mu and the things that they wrote about is Churchward and Albert Churchward and those other dudes or whatever, right? So here's the thing, right? Like writing them, like once again speculating and talk about these three different races, right? The Caucasoid race, right? And then you have the black race, what he's talking about. Now, this is in this sunken city off the coast of Japan, what he's talking about, right? Now, peep game. So saying that it's a brown and the black people. Now, and he's relating those color crayon concepts 30,000 years now. I'm going to say this again. 30,000 years. He didn't say that. He's probably not going to give the dates on this. You know, most people are not going to look into what Mu's talking about. And once again, if anybody is talking about Mu is just another descriptive term. Somebody else calling somebody else. So nobody would say, hey, well, we the Mu's, we the Negritos, none of these things, bro. Like, once again, these people are writing this shit, bro. Even the air quote whistleblower right here is full of shit. This is why we do this motherfucking work. This is why we do the research we fucking do. We read the books we read. Bro, this is why we do this shit. And I be goddamn, this is what I'm talking about, bro. This is what I'm talking about. Like the little weird little shit that we fight against, you know what I'm saying, each other. These people right here have a fucking plan. They've been at a plan. Coming and going, it don't fucking matter. Oh yeah, we're the African American to help you, and we can't explain how these black Mexicans are here first. God damn it, the ones that's we are the original people. That's why the bones in the ground, you dumbass. See, this once again, they're trying to mythologize themselves and write themselves back into time periods and take credit for shit, and then talk about black and brown and all this other dumbass shit. This is what I'm talking about. This guy's full of shit. I just want to say that for period. So we not come over here like this motherfucker's an expert of nothing. He ain't blew the whistle on shit in 97, not today either. So I just want y'all to know that I don't give a fuck. I don't. And I don't give a fuck who cares what I'm saying or whatever, because you ain't did the fucking work. To question shit that I say or anybody else to come over here and do this fucking research or whatever. Don't tell me shit. And I'm gonna keep it fucking simple. I'm not about to tell you no big ass words to try to fool you and all this other shit. If it's sunken cities everywhere, fuck y'all mean? So we talk about pyramids. Where does this come from? So when we talk about just 10,000 years ago, there's scientific evidence, China, Europe, everywhere, that the people there were Negroes, even in Japan. So when he's saying this stuff of this mythological underwater city, right? Hey, there's three different races, and they just, once again, they start writing concepts, their brains and their concepts, and they start writing it back in history like they did here on this land. That's what they did. The Louisiana Purchase, and this was like they put borders and walls in our brain. This is what they do. We look at history from a today's lens because of the people that are telling us today about history from thousands of years ago and all the speculation, all the things, all the social constructs that they write in there. So then he's going to come, oh, this new thing is DNA and it can trace stuff back to here and there. Man, listen. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Like, I mean, yo, it was fake in 97. It's still fake today. You know what I'm saying? All that shit is a part of those social constructs and the monkey theories and everything else. So once again, we understand that now, and we have the evidence, and it's way more evidence, to overwhelming evidence to prove that we are the Aborigines, the Tanchans of this motherfucking land. Period. That's how that works. So all that other stuff that y'all be talking about, man, that shit don't matter. This, like I said, I know this is the smartest chat room on the planet. So I already know y'all hip to this, but once again, there's a lot of other people listening to this and like, you know, maybe they might get confused. So I need y'all to understand all this black brown bullshit and mongoloid and not. He put brown with mongoloid. When that's ever happened? I'll wait. This motherfucker right here, little Walter Plecker. So I just want to let y'all know that, man. Press go. If you truly descend from the greatest human beings in world history. But y'all, we're not gonna let these motherfuckers take credit away from our ancestors. Now the shit that we build here, y'all can build whatever the fuck y'all build wherever else, but y'all not gonna take credit for shit here in America. I bet you that. Let's go. Weird ass dude.
The Olmec people, not all of them, the ancient remains, show a definite genetic trace, not to Africa only, but across the Pacific. When they found that out, they said that's got to be wrong. It just doesn't. There are no black people out in the Pacific, but there's this definite trace, lineage they could trace out towards Hawaii and beyond Hawaii. Then they began a worldwide match of DNA. Well, who does these strange black people, who do they match up with? They don't match up with Africans. They matched up with the Negritos in Oceania. It looks now, scientists believe there was a central point from which they went in both directions. So this is a marvelous heritage. And, you know, some people say, well, you're a white guy. How can you talk about stuff like this? I get flack from this on both sides. The purpose of our magazine is to tell the truth about what happened to our country and our continents before Columbus. And if it shows that there were white Vikings here, and there were, we tell that. And if it shows that there were Asians here visiting, Chinese here visiting Mexico, we'll tell about that. And if there were blacks here, we have to tell that too. That's all part of our heritage. And I think it's thrilling and exciting for all of us. It's remarkable. So what we're telling you, I mean, this is just in a nutshell, and you're going to be seeing a lot more of this, not just in our magazine. Believe me, you're going to be seeing this on TV. It's bound to burst out because it's really known in the archaeological community. You've had 4 of these major impacts that the black people have made to the Americas, not only before Columbus was born, but before even Spain or Italy existed. That's the kind of roots that are in this country. And by knowing that, and the more you know about it, it's an empowerment. You're really rooted. You have got a heritage which is more than slavery. Sure, there was slavery, but that's not all. That's a small part of it. Long before that, there's a heritage of kings, seafarers, religious missionaries, and they were all here. But it happened so long ago, there's just so little of it left. And that's basically my story. What connects it up is even the word Moor, because it's pronounced differently in different parts of Africa. And they call themselves Moor, Mu, Mur. There's all variations of that. So even the name Mur. I'll leave you with one thing which is really interesting too that relates to this. The Mali kingdom, part of their religion, around 900 AD, they believed in a god called Vodun. Vodun or Vodan. And they said Vodan was this great sailor who came across the sea, and he taught the Yoruba and the Benin how to work with metals. And he was their man god, as it were. He was like their founding father, their George Washington, was Vodun. And he brought tablets. He said they brought tablets, which he taught people how to read. Vodan was his name. Vodan and Vodun. Across the ocean, all the way across the Atlantic Ocean, amongst what they call the Quiché Maya or the lowland Maya that I talked about, they have a tradition of a god they called Wodan, same name, who brought tablets across the sea to tell them how to work metals and so on. So here we're dealing with the same tradition. This is something which is not made up or interpretive. It's the actual fact. It's the truth. So the more of these you have, like I say, the greater the sense of empowerment. So I'm going to stop here because I think these photographs are better than anything I can say. And if you have any questions, feel free to interrupt the action here. Yeah, I'm going to have to turn the slide off, I guess. Now, this is something I hadn't got time to go into because it's so long, but it's really interesting. This is a drawing from life that was made, believe it or not, by a so-called American Indian, the southern coast of California. He was a member of the Chumash, no longer exist. When the Spaniards met up with these people, they said, these are civilized Indians. They got along extremely well with them. The reason why they got wiped out, though, was because they had no immunity to the diseases that the Spaniards brought over. And so they were all wiped out. This is the last of them, about the mid of the early 19th century. They were a black people who built fantastic boats. They were like Viking boats, believe it or not. They were lab-straked over one plank over the other, so they were very resilient in the water. They had a tradition that they did not originate in America. They came from this great island out across the Pacific, and they lived in a number of islands off of California. One of them was Santa Barbara. You've heard that, Santa Barbara. And they called Santa Barbara Limu. That was their name for it. So this man, probably the last of the one of the last of the Chumash, represents one of these people from Mu, the very early times. These are representations from Ivan Van Sertima's book. You've got one of them here. It's excellent. These are one of the Olmec heads. This is one of the figurines that are found throughout Mexico. What's interesting is that these people are never portrayed as servile or slavish. They're always portrayed as prosperous, as bringing things, bringing metals. Oh, I forgot to mention, too, a grave was found in the Virgin Islands of a skeleton that was dated back to about, not too long ago, to maybe about 1200 AD, but still centuries before Columbus came here. Definitely had a black skull, negroid skull, and he was buried with an iron tool. Well, according to what we've been told, the people in Virgin Islands had no iron, but the Mali were great iron workers. This is another one of the numerous figurines that were found in a burial urn with gold and so forth. So it's obviously done out of respect. This is from a place called La Venta, Mexico. It's dated to about 200 AD. This is a beautiful obsidian ware. It was dark, you could see. This is a beautiful black obsidian, which apparently shows a boy bearing, this is not in a servile position, by the way. This is a religious position. This represents the heavens. He's holding up the heaven. There's a Mixtec inscription up here, meaning that this is the sky. So he's not being oppressed or anything. It might look that way, but it isn't. He's holding up the sky. This is dated, well, they haven't got a good date on it because you cannot date obsidian. But they did find some material around it, which may or may relate to its date. This goes back to early Maya time. Extreme northern reaches of the Maya civilization. This represents a person of great influence. This is found on the west coast of Mexico. The name escapes me now. The west coast of Mexico. I'm sorry, I forgot the site. He's sitting down. He's squatting down. This is the emblem of kingship. He's bearded. The Mayas did not grow facial hair at all. This is another one. This is a terracotta head from about 2,000 years ago. This is from the Atlantic coast. This is around La Venta also. This is one of the great Olmec heads. And when the archaeologists first saw these, they said, well, they're just typically Indians you know. And but then they always neglect to say, well, how come the artists who made these always made them out of black backgrounds? You know, if they're Indians, why are they choosing that to work in? And this is part of this helmet, this marvelous helmet, which nobody could understand. There's no other parallel for this helmet found anywhere in the world except West Africa. Plus, you have the, and then they said, well, they flattened the features so when they carved them, they could move them around without breaking them. And then it was found that they were carved right where they always were. They were never moved. They were the artists. To give you an idea how these things, how marvelous they are, they weigh over 11 tons apiece, and they were carried 200 miles. This is before the age of machinery, folks. You know, it's all handy. Whoever got this, they were carried from the Tlaxcala Mountains, which are 200 miles away, 11 tons. They were set up, and then they were carved. So the archaeologists were proved wrong again. Some have suggested the reason why there's just heads is because, well, there's two theories on that, although one of these theories is getting outdated now. One, that these were sacrificed victims. There was a game that the Aztecs called was Tlachtli, and in this game, you had to keep this ball in the air all the time. It's a big rubber ball, and the ball represented the sun, and it was played by two different teams, and the team that won, the captain of the team, he had his head cut off. Now, the reason why he did have his head cut off was because he was greatly honored that way in this great victory of getting the ball through the hoop. By having him killed at that moment of victory, it was believed his soul would go straight to heaven. So some people believe that this is a representation of one of those team leaders. It may or may not be, but that doesn't explain the helmet. So they probably are representations more of kings than of sports figures. This is a fanciful representation, but not that fanciful, of what Mu may have looked like from all of the descriptions. It was a mountainous place. It was very large. More information has come out. There's been a marvelous discovery underwater of something called the Philippine Plate, and it's about the size of Texas. It's under the Pacific, and it was dry land, they figure, about 12,000 years ago, and it's slowly sinking even deeper today in the Central Pacific. It was a mountainous land. Their architecture appears to have been very squarish. This is similar to the Olmec heads. The heads may have been placed up high, not just sitting on the ground. They've been placed on things, these gigantic, colossal representations of human head. They were great seafarers. These are navigable rivers, but they also had a lot of great canals. So this is possibly what this land of Mu looked like. This would be the origin of human civilization. If that's proved, if Mu was the place where civilization began, well then, you know, the contribution of blacks not only to America but to the world is profound, because this is where it all started. Now this is an artist's conception, but now we have some real photographs, or we shall. I guess I should just run through the story fast. The story is that Mu was prosperous, but of course it was on an area known as the Ring of Fire, and that's in the Pacific. The whole Pacific is surrounded by severe volcanic activity. And one day this activity was stimulated horribly when you have this tremendous onrush of water into the Pacific from the glaciers that are melting, and that started a lot of seismic activity. A lot of volcanism took place on the island of Mu, which was a giant island. And here be a representation of their civilization. They did have turrets, by the way. That appears to be a representation of some of their artwork. Caused a lot of tidal activity. A tsunami is a giant tidal wave that's caused by an earthquake. They're actually sea quakes. And the island of Mu may have suffered something like this. The civilization was threatened by the onrush of lava, volcanic activity, and eventually these great waves came and rushed in over the civilization and buried it underwater, smashed it with these great tsunamis. And this is part of the legend now, the fanciful thing of the Great Flood, which appears in worldwide myths, and covered it completely. Now, in 1995, scuba divers off the coast of Okinawa, just sports divers, started to find some very strange-looking features underwater. Some of these photographs are taken from the Japanese press. It hasn't made much publicity in this country. It's been on CNN, but that's about all. Some of these photographs are taken from a video. Others are from the Japanese magazines. And the divers began to find this. This is the first one they found. This is about 100 feet underwater. This is a great plaza. The remains of a stairway, some kind of a walkway. This is off the island of Yonaguni, which is not far from Okinawa. This is part of this great stair. Here's a scuba diver you can see. It's about 100 feet underwater. This is coral incrustation. So they know that it's been underwater a very long time. It's a huge building. It's so big. These buildings are so huge that they're difficult to take in with one shot of the camera, especially because underwater your visibility is limited, of course. Here's another view of another plaza. It's almost like a section of a pie. It's enormously huge. These are 3 divers behind there, so you can kind of see. Now, it's in good shape. These structures are in good shape, which means they probably weren't hit by earthquakes so much as when the water just rose over them. And this looks like the remains of Mu, this triracial or multiracial origin of civilization. It's another shot of divers here. These stairways that are underwater probably were for processions because they're very wide. So we assume that there were dozens and dozens of people in wonderful costumes. And they would climb up these stairs to great plazas where they would hold their rituals. This is to give you some idea again of the size. These are just little divers here. The structure is just enormous. And the people that built this were the people of Mu. And this tradition survives over the course of many centuries. This is a Japanese archaeologist now. And when this thing was first found, they thought, well, maybe it's a natural formation. But then they did measurements, and they found that all the angles are at almost perfect 90-degree angles, and nature doesn't work that way. So it's been confirmed as absolutely man-made. It has these huge ramparts. You can just walk on these things like almost for miles. This all looks very, very ceremonial, very, very spiritual, very religious. Our society, you know, if we were wiped out, you come back, everything would seem very mercantile and materialistic, and not much would survive. But here, the emphasis seems to be on the spiritual aspects a lot. A lot of processional ways for showing off clothing and rituals with the gods, ceremonies for the gods. This is another strange flight of steps that terminates like this. Mostly these are stairways. This is a diver again going away, an enormous block. Now this one is the best I could get of this, but this is one of the early pieces that was found last summer. Excuse me, a year ago last summer. It's an enormous arch. It's a gate, and you can see here all the stones are fitted very beautifully. Some of this masonry does not appear at all in Japan. The Japanese never built anything like this, but it does appear in 2 places. It appears in Peru amongst the Incas, and also amongst some stonework found in North Africa, a place called Lixus. So, again, there's some interesting parallels here. This is an enormous archway, and here you can see this a diver on the other side swimming through it. Again, it's too big to picture. This is again the same plaza. Hopefully, we'll get some better shots when we get over there. We're planning our own photo expedition. Or this is the remains of a canal or a channel of some kind. And these little steps here are not to walk on, but to facilitate the speed with which the water goes down. So this was all cut on dry land one time. This is for irrigation of some kind. Again, these enormous blocks. Here's the diver here again for size. This is almost like an enormous throne here with an armrest. This is a drawing, of course, from Japanese television. This is one of the structures which is so huge it can't be photographed, at least not yet anyway. You have these enormous blocks of stone, this roadway that goes for like about a quarter of a mile across the bottom of the ocean, and then these steps that go all the way to the top. We presume that when this was dry land, before the water went over the top, there were gods, idols, a temple, something like that. And again, this is dated to about 10,000 years ago. This is another, the Japanese went to a lot of trouble to make this enormous model. This model is like about 30 feet long. And this shows one section of it, what it looks like. There's a flight of stairs that goes up, and then there's a long processional way, and there are these two pylons on either side. It's a ceremonial building, a public building of some kind. At the top are these two the top. There were gods, idols, a temple, something like that. And again, this is dated to about 10,000 years ago. This is another, the Japanese went to a lot of trouble to make this enormous model. This model is like about 30 feet long. And this shows one section of it, what it looks like. There's a flight of stairs that goes up, and then there's a long processional way, and there are these two pylons on either side. It's a ceremonial building, a public building of some kind. At the top are these two and it appears that has been seen. So the dates for that are pretty good. This is an overhead view of one of the structures. Again, basically what it would look like. This is a drawing. This is one of the models that the Japanese have done. Give you a general idea what it looks like. Apparently, this was natural rock, which ancients terraformed or bolted. This is just a model of a boat, again, for size. And that's all. I just wanted to be able to share that with you. If you have any questions on this, I'd be more than happy to try to answer them. And yes, sir.
Question about the gentleman holding his arms out. What was that standing up?
Oh, let me just run that back then real fast for you. I think that's probably a model of a boat. Oh, that? Yeah, this is a model of a boat. Just to give you an idea for size. This yacht's about 40 feet long in real life, and this is to show you how big the structure is overall. It appears that there were like houses or some kind of temple foundations on top. They've all been washed away, of course. They were wood, and all that remains is the stone. But
who do the Japanese say these people were?
The Japanese say just exactly what I told you. They believe the same thing. They have traditions of Mu that go back centuries or thousands of years. But the real research on the triracial aspect of it came out about 1876 by a guy by the name of James Churchward, who was a colonel in the British Army. And he spent his whole life researching this before it was found. And he gathered up all the traditions of the Japanese, the Polynesians, and so on. And the theme that came back over and over again was this triracial idea of these. And sometimes, like the Polynesians didn't even know about whites or blacks because they were so isolated, some of them in their islands. But they said that's part of our tradition, that there was this black people who shared power with the brown people who they were descended from. So this is now being accepted by the Japanese because Churchward is like big authority on Mu. Well, the origin of human life in Africa goes back long before this. This is the origin of civilization, not of man or of life. That took a long time for human beings to rise up from their earlier beginnings to become civilized. This appears to be where man reached civilization. That it took a long time. It took maybe, well, hundreds of thousands of years at least. Yes? It's really strange to see these giant steps. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know about the extraterrestrials, but it's interesting you mentioned about the giants, because the Polynesians have said about how giants did build these places. And there's all kinds of stories. So I don't know that they were actually giants, but they might have been very, very tall people. That's right. Yeah. These structures are all oriented east and west. That means that they oriented with the rising and setting of the sun. Right. Absolutely. Yeah, you've done good research. Yeah. Well, if you have no further questions, I really thank you for coming and letting me share this with you. I think this is interesting and important stuff, and we're going to be featuring more of it in our magazine. Yes. The letters, they look like part Egyptian, they look part Phoenician, but they're not. They look kind of Phoenician, they look kind of Egyptian. Now, some of the letters are Egyptian. You can translate words, but you can't translate a whole sentence. So it's like a mix of something. But they haven't figured out what that language is on those plates yet. It looks Egypto-Phoenician. The plates are all being held by Mr. Russell Burroughs. He is the discoverer of the cave. And he has them all warehoused, and well, he sold some. He sold some to professional investigators who've done tests on them. And it was important for him to do that because these investigators have proved that they're authentic. If he had just kept them, people say, well, maybe you made them, So they've been thoroughly tested and found they are real. They're real in the sense that they are ancient, that they were made 2,000 or more years ago. And so all this is going to be coming out soon. It's coming out in our magazine, the next issue. We're not going to be the only ones that are covering it. It's going to be, there's a television special made now, going to be out early next year. It's called The Mystery Cave of Many Faces. At least that's the name they're using for it now. The cave is located in southern Illinois. Pardon me? He has not disclosed exactly where because he's afraid that people will go in there and destroy it. But he just told us it's around Olney, Illinois, if you know where that is. Olney, it's like, okay, I'll give you an idea. It's like 120 miles southeast of St. Louis. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Why is it that they haven't done this with this?
Well, I think that there's all kinds of political reasons involved. People have their own personal agendas, and I don't want to really talk on that because I don't know why they would not want to share this. The only thing I know is that there's a new generation of people coming up now who are open to the possibility of people from Africa, especially from Mali, who came here and did great things. So it's coming out.
I'm suspicious that the government has in the seat with this particular thing.
I don't know. The government is very hard to second guess, So our opposition, or the only opposition we found to this, it really comes not from the government, but from old-style archaeologists. The reason why is because an archaeologist can't make much money by themselves. Archaeology doesn't pay. The only way you can make money being an archaeologist is to write a book, and you go to class, you have a class you teach, and you make all the students buy your book, see? And your ideas are in that book. And if somebody comes along and says, oh, no, there was somebody here before Columbus, then he's going to object to that because he doesn't have that in his book, see? So we're getting resistance from these old-style archaeologists, but they can't stop it now because because it's too well documented. Yes, sir.
Shake some of the downstanding secret societies as far as what they've been teaching their
Yeah.
memberships. It would kind of like shake their foundations to the point of what?
Well, I think some of these secret societies, I mentioned like the Masons, for example, the Masons have known about some of this for a long time, but they keep it all to themselves, a part of their lodges. And so now some of the stuff is going to be public knowledge, so it'll be interesting to see how they react.
In other words, the money that people spend would be sort of like for what?
Well, I don't know. I can't say that. Yeah, I don't think I can answer that authoritatively. I'm just a reporter. I'm not a political scientist or an archaeologist. And, my job is just to get this stuff out. Well, I got to be honest about it. Okay. I didn't think it was that much, but I know that there have been traces of blacks found in China, and that also is suppressed or just not publicized at all. But I never heard of a number quite that huge, and that the Chinese knew about it like for many, many years. Yeah, but that's part of the migration from Mu through the Pacific, it appears. Yes. No, not in the islands of Japan so much, but it's an interesting point that the Japanese people represent, a homogeneous race, but the people on Okinawa, they're racially different. They're racially very, very different. And they don't even speak the same language. The people on Okinawa don't even consider themselves Japanese. So it looks like there's some other influences at work there over a very long period of time. Something. Yes, ma'am. It looks that way. Yes, 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 right. See, there have been legends about this civilization before Egypt, but no proof. But now with the DNA testing, with these structures found off of Japan, there's a lot of indication that what we're looking at is in fact Mu. And also, just to study the legends of the Polynesians, where they talk about it. I mean, you don't have a myth that survives for hundreds or thousands of years without having a kernel of truth behind it. And all these are just different pieces of a puzzle which are coming together. So yeah, Mu looks like the first civilization. It does. Atlantis? That's a whole other subject. I can't even begin to get into that now. maybe another lecture. I'm sorry. But I'm kind of focused on this. Well, I think a valid point you bring up, we are taught in school that the earliest civilizations are Egyptian and Mesopotamian, that nobody came over to America except Columbus. I think these are all outdated ideas. We're going to find that there were many people here before Columbus and that there were several civilizations before Egypt, that those people got their ideas from places like Mu. Maybe Mu isn't the oldest. Maybe there was some even before that. I don't know. But we do know this is before Egypt. I would not rule out Atlantis or even other places we don't even know about yet. I like metaphysics law. I'm interested in it, but I try to keep it separate from this. Yeah. The fifth. Right, right. That's Madame Blavatsky and the Theosophists. Oh. Well, you're ahead of me there, I think. Yes, yes. Right, very interesting. That's the end of... Something big will happen then.
You showed that other clip that I asked you to show back. It seemed as though, in my eyes, play no tricks on me, that it was being held in the air by itself, that model ship.
Oh, he just had a thin wire that held it up. That's all. Yeah, sure. They didn't want to show that.
You sure they had the wire?
Yeah, you can see it clearer on the video. I just took this off the video there. Yeah, he wasn't levitating the ship or anything.
All right. Yeah.
So. Okay. Well, any other questions? Well, again, thank you very much for allowing me to share this with you. And the Ouachita also is going to be carrying some of this in their newspaper. So. Right. Right, that's when it first came out. And now all this new material, we can hardly keep up with it, so much new stuff.
Well, so much to talk about. All right, so Albert Churchwood, James Churchwood are brothers. And you know, when we talk about these dates, right? And you know how when they start talking about things like social constructs, like Caucasoid, Mongoloid, and things of that nature, right? Well, you know that would have to come in the late 1800s. Okay, so these guys, the Churchwards, were fellows, were a part of the system, eugenics society. They were pushing an agenda, even in Japan, even in China, even, you understand what I'm saying? So this guy, once again, you could tell he was full of shit, because even when they were asking him questions, you know, he was just like, yeah, you know, just the racial, it's the tri-racial thing, like, and this is the origin of, once again, this is a myth, a guess. I'm gonna say a myth because there's no scientific evidence. See, what he did was he mixed scientific evidence with mythological story of Mu. Going back to this thing about Mu, right? Now, they're pushing an agenda. Even the people in China, you know, they're trying to push the whole racial construction, right? Oh no, we're not the Negritos. We're not these. We don't come from these blacks. We don't come from Africa. They were trying to say that they didn't have anything to do with being a part of Africans, and we seen what happened with that, right? The original people of this planet would be Negroes. They created in the late 1800s. Okay, these other racial categories. This is a part of a eugenic racist construction. So even when somebody is whistleblowing, right, he's still blowing their fucking whistle. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So y'all gotta understand that, man. Hey, man, links in the chat room. So shout out to everybody, man. Right here real fast. Yo, you know, in need of a vacation, support the fundraiser event that we have. $50 donation vacay giveaway is in full effect. Only builders. You guys already know August 3rd through the 7th, Las Vegas. The National Association of Black Journalists and the National Association of Hispanic Journalists having their conference and career fair. So it's gonna be going down in Las Vegas, man, in August, man. So on a trip for two, all expenses paid for that, man. Support that fundraising event that we have right there. Appreciate everybody, man, and all the love and support that we get. And even the guys that do the hating. Appreciate you guys as well, man. You already know, man, it's the Summer of Love will be continuing. It's always Summer of Love right now, man, but I love the 90s. Hip hop and R&B edition, man, this Sunday, man, is going down, man. You guys already know about that, man. $10 donation as well, going towards a worthy cause, man, and things that we got going on, man. So appreciate you guys, man. Everybody that tap in with that, man. It's gonna go down Sunday 4 Eastern time, man. So y'all tap in, man. What else we got going on, man? Yeah, man. Hey, let's pull up the commercial, All Nations commercial, man. We're gonna get ready to wind it down, man. Everybody wanna come rap to the Sahab tonight. So we're gonna get y'all up out of here tonight, man. Hey, but yeah, this Sunday, man, Mixcloud, it's going down, man. Make sure you put your email address inside the description or the section that says for in the Cash App. So we appreciate everybody, man, that holds us down on that, man. Really do. I see my Guzu in the building. Big Dog, Philly OG. Hawk Yos. Big Yos. Mr. C. I'm gonna say peace to the guys, man. Appreciate everybody, man. Love and support, man. Really do. Yeah, man, we're in the building. They're not. You guys need to pull this banner down. June 25th, All Nations Unity Fest. Let's go.
It's the go. Live, June 25th, All Nations Unity Fest. Live performance by Ja Bricks, Shadi Aki,
Royal. All of my knees, they royal.
and Threads 3000. Hosted by the Redhead Diva, Pete Brown Live. All Nations Unity Fest, June 25th, Threads 3000, Shadi Aki, Ja Bricks Live. Sound provided by DJ Deck ATL and DJ Cut Tacklers on the ones and twos. Cut, you killing them.
Yep. Wild Indian, yeah.
Hey, V, line them up.
I'm a wild Indian, you know I go crazy. Ain't really Indian, that boy Fugazi. That's right. I just keep a player, you can never play me. You got an ass so fat.
All Nations Unity Fest, June 25th, hosted by P. Brown Live. Special guest Dr. Powhatan Amaru, DJ Deck ATL, and DJ Cut Tacklers on the ones and twos will be in the building.
Yeah, man, it's going down, man. Atlanta, Georgia, June 25th, man. Legacy Center, man. It's going down, man. It's going to be a movie. So y'all tap in with that, man. All Nations Unity Fest. Eventbrite. Let's get it. Hold on a second. Hey, let's pull up a couple tunes. We're going to get ready to get up out of here, you guys. Let's say shout out to all American Aborigines. Appreciate you guys tapping in with us this evening, as well as everybody that tapped in earlier on the Summer of Love 80s throwback, man. It's going to be I Love the 90s. It's going to be crazy, man. You guys, man. R&B and hip hop, man. It's going down, man. DJ Cut, the GOAT. Y'all know the CEO going to be in the building. Say peace to the guys, man. Really appreciate everybody. It's back on the screen. Yeah, I love the 90s hip hop and R&B edition, man. This Sunday, Mixcloud, man, 4 Eastern. $10 donation, man. Only builders. You guys get the link. Please include your email in the for section. Got Threads, 3 stacks, history. Let's go. Let's the go.
That bitch up, Mike.
Yeah, truth can't be told, it gotta be realized.
Truth can't be told, it gotta be realized. Freedom ain't free, it ain't legalized. Truth can't be told, it gotta be realized. Freedom ain't free, it ain't realized. Freedom ain't free, it ain't realized. Freedom ain't legalized. Realize. Freedom ain't free, it ain't legalized. Realize. Freedom ain't free, it ain't legalized. Realize. Yeah. Slavery was a long time ago. How? Same motherfuckers still here right now. Colonized on our land, they ahead of us. Changed our name so much, they scared of us. Children of the sun, y'all don't compare to us. Pale-faced people, this ain't y'all area. Talking about America, pale-faced people, this ain't y'all area. Even up the playing field, bitch, I'm darn. How you a victim, bitch, you a Karen. Cognitive dissonance, you don't need sparing. You got white privilege, so you don't need sparing. Looking at my homeland, man, I can't believe her. Colonized came here, they ain't never leave her. Indians ain't die off cause we here. You ain't gotta lie, just say you won't be here. How you American but not indigenous? 400 years still ain't get rid of us. All Europeans, naturalized citizens, made all the Indians niggas on the census. 1492, we was on the fences. Civil rights movement, we was so defensive. Black Wall Street, whites got so offended. Common law rights gave us amendments. Thank God don't speak truth, that's alright. First slave 1619 was all white. 1200 wasn't no continent, all white. Europe named after a black woman, alright. Grafted, it come from us, do your research. Go within, quit listening to the teacher. And the Nuki got voice coming out the speaker. Cut off trees down and made us weaker. Really they foreigner, the shit gets deeper. Whites don't know where whites come from either. I'm Aborigine, we come from the ether. Ruling over us in our land, that's evil. Being colonized right now, black people. Prisoner of the war, that's why it ain't equal. Wake up everybody, don't be no sheeple. Freedom ain't free, really freedom is illegal. And we can't get mad at this. Whites act like we can't see their advantages. Privileges real, they working in management. Low down dirty, but they calling us savage. They want you to think they above us. All white people are part-time judges. I ain't no racist, but I ain't no sucker. I ain't no African, but they my brothers. Been lied to, I got built up anger. We built everything, still waiting on the savior. Don't call yourself black, please do me that favor. Black tourmaline will protect you from a hater. Listening to your oppressors is dangerous. Gave us a Bible and stole our nation. Said we couldn't read, but we didn't know the language. Kept us on paper because we didn't see the danger. American Indian, keep the religion. Skin copper color look just like a penny. Wanted our land and you called us stingy. Ain't no Democrats there together, pay attention. We got ancestors, but the papers is missing. Kings and queens, we just can't remember. Remember who you are, just like Simba. Now they got a vax, we don't want that in us. George Washington is the ninth president, look it up. United States, only 10 square blocks, look it up. White people really the minorities, look it up. Courtrooms don't got authorities, look it up. You want me, say stop governing me. Gave me a straw man, it's really not me. Why you don't keep it 100 with me? Why Trayvon killers still walk around free? Made this song for the truth, don't hate it. History was told in reverse, I stated. Reach to the press, somebody gotta say it. I'm taking out of school, that's the reason I made it. History is his story. History is his story. History is his story. History is his story. It ain't my story. History is his story. Probably ain't your story. History is his story. It's his story.
Hulu Ad Manager is the easy way for businesses like yours to advertise on Hulu. Think of it, your ads on a platform with the best TV around. Get started for as little as $500 per campaign. Sign up for Hulu Ad Manager today.
Watch the NBA Finals live on ABC with YouTube TV. Try it free.
We gon' do it to him.
Yeah. All of my niggas, they roll you. Roll you. All of my knees, they roll you. All of my knees, they low you. We ain't the same, we ain't normal. Wait, adore you. Baby girl, I adore you. Pretty face and she loyal. So to fix your crime, girl, you roll you. Wait, roll you. All of my knees, they roll you. All of my knees, they low you. We ain't the same, we ain't normal. Wait, adore you. Baby girl, I adore you. Pretty face and she loyal. So to fix your crime, girl, you roll you. Wait. I just had to catch my breath. I just had to stack my checks. Shorty got ass, God bless. Damn. I just had to stack my chips. I just had to grab my grip. A lot of niggas mad I'm rich. I might have to smash they bitch. Pull up in a maxed out fit. VLN on the logo, moving solo with the stick. Block jumping like a pogo, come and pull up on the strip. Told her pull up and get lit, so she pulled up and she stripped. Damn, damn, I don't need all the attention, I just need all of the pension. Ran the bill up like a piston, wait. Told them but they didn't listen. Fuck it, I teach them a lesson. I ain't got time for the stressing. Damn dog, is you kidding me? You know that we Aborigines. I don't give a fuck if you feeling me, as long as you watch how you grilling me. My knee G's making history. Brother, some diamonds at Tiffany's. She a carbon queen and she feeling me, so you know she matching my energy. Royal, all of my knees they royal. All of my knees they loyal. We ain't the same, we ain't normal. Wait, adore you. Baby girl, I adore you. Pretty face and she loyal. So to fix your crime, girl, you royal. Wait, royal. All of my knees they royal. All of my knees they loyal. We ain't the same, we ain't normal. Wait, adore you. Baby girl, I adore you. Pretty face and she loyal. So to fix your crime, girl, you royal. Wait, so to fix your crime, girl, you royal. You ain't got time for the low vibes, but you know I'm feeling your vibe. You a black woman, you go God. Heh, heh. You could trust me, girl, I promise. My only choice, to be honest. I feel like it's perfect timing. When we hit your party, we getting it lit. Hit it YBs if I need me a fit. He got the sauce, yeah, he got the drip. We gon' keep grinding until we get rich. Smoking exotic, I need me a zip. My Aborigines be with this shit. Rushing your shit and I call it a blitz. We tryna find us some money to split. Can't break bread, then you fake then. Free all my guys out the state pen. Her only wet, yeah, it's leaking. She said she want me to eat it. Had to ice her out, now she blinging. Dying for what I believe in. Dropping new heat every season. Call me a vet cause I'm seasoned. Call me a vet cause I'm healing the dogs. Roll me a wood, I ain't talking the law. Brought me some land, about to buy me a mall. Stand up nigga so I cannot fall. Chasing clout, then I won't get involved. Oh, that's your girl, then I'm testing the jaws. Said you was lame, so she gave me the draws. Feeling like Rick Ross because I'm a boss. Royal. All of my knees, they royal. All of my knees, they loyal. We ain't the same, we ain't normal. Wait, adore you. Baby girl, I adore you. Pretty face and she loyal. So to fix your crime, girl, you royal. Wait, royal. All of my knees, they royal. All of my knees, they loyal. We ain't the same, we ain't normal. Wait, adore you. Baby girl, I adore you. Pretty face and she loyal. So to fix your crime, girl, you royal. Wait, royal.
Shout out to the CEO on the ones and twos, video DJing. Hey man, I want to say shout out to everybody, man, for tapping in tonight, man. Appreciate it, man. Do us a favor, man. Like, share, subscribe, man. You already know, man. Support the real, man. Support back to school. Everything we got going on, you guys, man. Tap in, man. chiefholiday@gmail.com, man. I don't even know what more to tell y'all, man. But all the things we got going on over here, man. If you would like to book Jobricks, Threads 3 Stacks, Trey Ali, Aboriginal Power, DJ Cuddy, my OG, Mr. LV, California the whole state. Y'all know what it is, man. Holla at your boy, man. chiefholiday@gmail.com or idgafbookings@gmail.com. Tap in, man. Let's get the summer turned up, man. You already know August 3rd through the 7th. Win a trip, all expenses paid to Vegas, man, with National Association of Black Journalists. And you guys don't have to come to that. It's going to be plenty of things you guys can come for, but it's definitely going to be an event that you're going to want to be a part of. So, yeah, tap in, man. OnlyBuilders2022@gmail.com, you guys. Shout out to Falling Lightning in the building. You guys already know, man, we're looking for editors, looking for coders, graphic artists, writers, cartoonists are wanted, dead or alive. Tap in, man. Contact us, chiefholiday@gmail.com. You guys already know, man. Looking to relocate. Matter of fact, you don't even have to relocate, man. Wherever you guys at, man, tap in, man. We're looking for brokers. We're looking for sales reps. We're looking for partners. Where you at? Tap in, man. Y'all see the emails right there. JYPM 11@gmail.com. Hit your boy up, chiefholiday@gmail.com. Only builders. Y'all go got plenty of emails over here, man. What we doing? Tap in, man. Let's get to work. Let's get to work. Let's get to work. Let's get to work. Man, I ain't gonna tell y'all about this master build right here, man. Founding Fathers event, man. It's almost 8 hours, man. Me and A1 went in, man. Not much more to say other than that, man. Once again, we dropped information. That's just you're not gonna see it in too many other places, man. Shout out to the guy, Ahanu Amaru Kiel, aka the Tonsinus one. Peace to the God, man. Tap in that onlybuilders2022@gmail.com, man. Get that 7-hour lecture, man. We got plenty of them over here, man. Shout out to Lotus, man. We got me and Lotus about to do another Aborigine horror show, man. So old Voorhees gonna be back in the building. Him and Candyman's going in, man. It's a massacre of the American indoctrination system, man. So it's going down, man. You already know, man. Never seen before, heard before information because these people been hiding it. But we uncovering it, man. So shout out to my brother Lotus. I call him Lotai. Shout out to Camp Warrior King. What more to say, man? CampWarriorKing.com, man. Check in with CampWarriorKing.com. You guys know about the. Let's play. How about this? Let's play the commercial for the shoelaces. Pull it up. I know we're gonna get you guys out of here, man. We're gonna pull this commercial up, man. We want to support the babies, man. Support the kids. I know we love the babies over here, man. So shout out to all the babies. He said you could have used that last week. Yeah, man. Tap in, man. Come back next August, man. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. August 3rd through the 7th, Las Vegas, man. Caesar's Palace is going down, y'all. It's gonna be a historical event. Y'all know it's gonna be a movie. Right now it's June 25th. June 25th, All Nations Unity Fest. Matter of fact, even before that, June 19th, Dallas, Texas, man, City Men Cook. We'll put those links in the chat room for you guys. Check out what's going on over there. It can be a part of City Men Cook as well. So we're going to be in Dallas, June 19th. On our way to the ATL for the All Nations Unity Fest, man. It's going down. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lit summer, man. So we're really excited, you guys. Shout out to Camp Warrior King. 2022 Celebrity Basketball Game. That's July 19th, 2022, y'all. It's Atlanta, Georgia, man. Support the kids, y'all already know, man. $10 Only Builders fundraiser, man. Support the kids. You already know, man. Support Gretchen's business as well. You know, get those notebooks. Shout out to everybody, man, that tapped in with the notebooks, man. We really appreciate you guys. Support the sisters' business. Support everybody's business, man. If you guys have a business, you already know, man. So you have wrenches. We're here to support each other. Put your links in the chat room. You know what I'm saying? If you have a channel, you already know, man. I'm not that guy. I've always been like, hey, you can come over here and tell people to subscribe to your channel. So I think I might be the only YouTuber that does that. I'm not sure. I think I'm the only guy that allows that to happen in this chat room. You know what I'm saying? And people can, I tell people to subscribe to people that are subscribed to me. You see how that works? Because I appreciate you guys being subscribed. Once again, I try to subscribe to everybody that does content, and you know what I mean? But it's hard, man, because it's not enough time in the day to do everything that we're doing off air as well as on air. So I just want to let you guys know that it's all love. I try to support everybody's channel. Once again, we're going to go on another media run, man. We got some more things we dropping this summer, man. So y'all stay tuned for that. Y'all know, man, we're going to be tapping in with the usual suspects. But if you got a channel, you want it to grow, man, we'll come through and light it up. So shout out to the tribe, man. We really appreciate everybody. When is that? West Expo? When is that, bro?
CampKing.com. It's a great time.
Hold on, you guys. My bad. Let's start over.
It's time to be you. Introducing the Team Hot Sauce Sneaker Laces.
Team Hot Sauce sneaker laces are available first for the children at Camp Warrior King Summer Camp. Team Hot Sauce is an international youth development brand designed to build children's self-efficacy and uniqueness. It's time to be you, and now you can in a variety of stylish colors and Team Hot Sauce designs. Mix them, match them, share them with your friends, show the world. To get your child a pair of these exclusive laces, register at campwarriorking.com. It's a great time to be alive. A portion of all sales go towards the upkeep of the You Can Have It All orphanage in Uganda, East Africa.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Camp Warrior King, man. You're doing big things over there with Camp Warrior King, man. So y'all tap in campwarriorking.com, man. Support the kids, man. We definitely are, man. Support the kids. Where you guys at, man? Once again, man, where you guys are, tap in, man. chiefholiday@gmail.com. Email me. We're going to exchange numbers. Let's get to work. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're doing over here, man. And work from where you're at. And like I said, we're going to be coming to a city near you. You know what I mean? So, hey, we're going to be real busy this summer, man. So hopefully you guys are going to be building with us, man. We're going to be getting our hands dirty. So it's getting out here, man, and changing the circumstances ourselves instead of just sitting around crying and complaining. We're going to get out here and do the work. So, summer of love, you guys. Peace and prosperity, man. It's going down this summer, man. You guys already know, man. So, peace to the guys, man. We're going to get ready to get up out of here. Say thank you all for tapping in. We really appreciate it. I don't know if we're going to go out with a song or no. It's up to the CEO. I want to say thank you guys for tapping in this evening, and we'll probably be back tomorrow, man. Tomorrow's Monday. Yeah, man. Got a busy week, y'all. So we got a lot of things going on, man. So yeah, man, tap in and keep dropping this information. Keep building, you guys. So really appreciate it. Guess another song before we get up out of here. I'll say shout out to y'all big homie, the one and only Tasker, the CEO. Always holding us down. Be multitasking to y'all at the same time. Peace to the goddess. Kwame do that too. Shout out to Kwame Brown. Bus Life. Yeah, man, we're gonna have to tap in with Kwame, man, see if we can get him come out to the celebrity basketball game. So he can say hello to the kids. Give him some inspiration. So yeah, man, maybe we have to tap in with Kwame on that. But yeah, man, peace to everybody, man. Really appreciate you guys. I don't think we're gonna have a song, you guys. So let me make sure. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have another song this evening before we get up out of here. So I want to say thank you guys for all the love and support, man. We will catch you guys on the other side. Remember, Sunday, I Love the 90s. Summer of Love series, man, is going down, man. 90s hip hop and R&B, man. DJ Cut, the GOAT, gonna be in the building, man. It's gonna be crazy, man. So y'all stay tuned, man. $10 donation for that, man. Y'all tap in, man. All for a worthy cause. Like I said, support the real, support the kids. You already know who the only builders are over here, man. So we appreciate all the love. And we out.